Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome back to AMX Season 3. This is the AMX Global League, and we are about 20 races into a 72-race season. We have a lot left to race, and we're going to get started with an AMX 0 here, heading to bright and sunny and humid and swampy and everything else. We're heading to Florida for a little bit of action at track you can see on your screen right here. This is Sebring. Lots to talk about here because it's not just Sebring. We're sprinkling a little bit of extra salt onto it. And yeah, we got a lot more going on today. Really cool cars, probably very, very popular. Lots of new racers out there. And so I really do hope that we have a lot of fun today. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun today. Amir, are you also? How are you doing? Nope, that is not working. Sorry to interrupt, but I see you. But I'm going to assume that it's some sort of elaborate ventriloquist ruse. So feel free to chime in when you feel like you've found your voice again. And in the meantime, I'll do a quick overview of what you guys are having in store for us all today. This is a look at some of the beautiful scenery in the background, which we'll talk about in a second. Let's talk about the league overview for just a second. If you're new, we go over this every night, but here's a brief breakdown. We're running in this league for about 3 months until December 10th. $25,000 prize pool on the line. We have the most races of any sim racing tournament in the world. Unless you guys can show me a tournament with more than 72 races in 3 months. We do have a large variety of cars and tracks, and we'll talk about those in just a second. But the big deal is the format. Qualifier. Heat 1, Heat 2, all 15 minutes, and we do a top 15 reverse grid in between everything, and we're paying out prize money for your placement in each one of the 3 sections. So that means if you're great at qualifying, great. Cash in on the first one, and then try to make it through Heat 1, Heat 2. If you're not great at qualifying, well, we're going to help you out and reverse the grid from the first qualifier into Heat 1, then do the same thing all over again. If you want to get involved, you can head on over to amxrace.com, sign up, and when you join the AMX race of your choice, if you join AMX 0, we want to see you, and we'll give you an extra $1 if you turn your webcam on and join via the link in the AMX Discord. So go ahead and do that. And it is required to have a camera if you join AMX 10. We're leveling up the production. We'd love to see you and have your face on screen. So please make sure to join there. We pay out balances over $100 every month. And if you want to race with us, you can do so on Wednesday or Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we'll break down those times for you in just a second. Once again, amxrace.com is the place to sign up. And if you'd like to race with us there, you can do so here. Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday in the Americas region. It's Wednesday nights and in the afternoons on the weekend. Starting at 12:50 p.m. and second race starting at 2:20. Which is what we're doing right now, Sunday in the afternoon in the United States and Americas. And if you're in Europe, this is what our schedule looks like. It is a late night on Thursday, as well as evenings on Saturday and Sunday. Your weekends begin at 6:50 p.m. and continue at AMX 10 at 8:20 p.m. on the weekend. This is a look at the prize pool that we are fighting for today. Well, I'm not fighting for it, but everybody else is. $7 for first place in qualifiers Heat 1 and Heat 2. Total it all up. Add +1s for fastest laps and +1 if you have your camera on. And if you look at the prize pool, if you turn your camera on, that's equal to the payout for an 11th place finish in any one of the 3 qualifiers. And it's better than if you placed 15th in all 3 qualifiers. Cumulative combined. So yeah, get your cameras on, join up, AMX 0, and here's a look at what you're fighting for. It's a free race, and we do a lot of really fun car track combos. So if you're looking to get out there, have some fun with a unique format and a lot of other cool racers, then here is the place to do it. And here are some of those other cool racers and what they're doing so far in AMX 10. We're not even halfway through the season, and already we've got Jackson Resenge, who is the first racer in AMX 0 to break $100. That means he getting paid out just based on his AMX 0 earnings alone. Not to mention AMX 10, which comes a little bit later on. So Fabrizio Belziti, Kyle Gaspar round out your top 3. And that's what has happened cumulatively totally so far this season. Look at the average earnings. This is what we're working with right now. And this is talking about average performances on the day based on earnings collated with placements in your races. So we're totaling up qualifier, heat 1, heat 2 for all of the races, averaging that out, and it's Kieran Harrison that comes out on top. He hasn't even raced the most. He's got 12.88 bucks every single time, and that is darn near perfect. I think perfect would be 21, and well, okay, never mind. It's not actually anywhere close to perfect, but he's doing the best he can. Yikes. Quarantine Ganez and Gustavo Ariel. He's only raced once, and he owned. This guy's got 10K I rating, and he showed. One race, already up in the top 3. That's pretty impressive. And, of course, everybody else up there doing a great job this season. So a lot of great racers even joining here in the free-to-earn, or free-to-enter AMX Zero. We're not just racing for money this season. We're racing for an AMX Zero Championship prize of a GT Light Pro brought to you by our friends at Next Level Racing. We partnered with Next Level Racing for some of their amazing sim racing peripherals and, of course, their sim racing cockpits. Second to none, and we're glad to have them here spicing up the championship this season by offering a GT Light Pro to the AMX Zero Champion of Season 3. If you are looking to upgrade your sim rig, look no further than AMX Zero Championship prize. Okay, let's do a quick check right here. Amir, are you alive?
Yes, I am. Can anyone hear me right now?
Yes, you are doing great. Why don't you break down what and where we're racing today?
Thank God for that. So, today we're at Sebring International Raceway in Florida, which was first opened in the 1950s, and in exactly 1950, 3.17 kilometers. But this is not the usual layout that we know of for the Sebring 12 hours. We're actually going to the modified circuit, which actually cuts across from where Sector 1 really begins into the third sector. So we're going to see that usual first corner line, as you can see right now in the background. There, the cars actually cut through into what is actually turn 14 on the long circuit.
Yeah, that's a great point. The normal layout is, I think, about 6 kilometers. So we're cutting that basically in half and just running around the bottom part with a little bit of an extra sunset bend down there. So kind of a cool layout. I'm excited to see what's going on there.
Yep, and the cars that we're going to be racing on are the GT4 class. So we'll have a different eclectic mix of... All right. Can anyone hear me?
Okay,
Yeah.
we're good.
I don't know why it keeps cutting off, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just staying here. But anyway.
We'll just do our best to break down things. It's GT4s. If you haven't heard about these, what rock are you living under? There's guys out there of here that just joined up and they're like, all right, I'm only going to race the ice cream truck around every track in existence. Oh, man, there's like some other cool cars. You should try GT4, GT3. Got those coming up later. But yeah, so probably people have been exposed to GT4s, very iconic cars, and I'm looking forward to see what is going on with the GT4s today because we had a lot of new faces joining us and some old faces to race here in, which should be some really, really fun cars to take out on Sebring.
There we are, qualifying is underway right now with the cars streaming out of pit lane. And you can see there all 4 cars, well, in fact 5 even, because there's McLaren in there too. So different manufacturers being represented here on the grid, Reed.
Yeah, I actually want to take a look and see exactly how many there are. If I can get that up real fast. While that loads, yeah, we are heading out. And this is our first look at qualifiers, our first look at our cars and tracks and racers and everything. But we do need to take a little bit of a closer look here because while we are going through Sebring, we're taking a different cut on it. This is really close to the school circuit layout. It used to be raced. I guess it still is to some extent. But so essentially, we're still going through the same start-finish straightaway. But around turn 2, we are heading off towards Bishops, and then back around through Le Mans Curve and all that other good stuff, way down south. And so it's going to look a little bit different than if you're used to seeing big, bad races like the 12 Hours of Sebring. It's super iconic by now. So it's a little bit of a different take, so it's going to add a fun little twist to our race today. And after checking out the variety of cars, we do have BMWs, Porsches, Aston Martins, Mercedes, McLarens even out there on the grid. So we're sprinkling a little bit of everything in there, Amir.
Yeah, quite a diverse field of cars. 5 manufacturers being represented on the grid. So can't wait to see how it's going to play out here with different cars, strengths coming to play different sections of the track.
Yeah, different sections of the track. So while we're still waiting on our racers to set some of their lap times, and this is, like I said, it's a longer circuit. It's not the full circuit, which would be absolutely insane. I think we'd be able to do about 3 laps on the full Sebring circuit. So we're cutting it down so we can get a few more laps out there. And, I don't know exactly what to expect here because it's hard to find lap records for this version of the track for GT4s. So it looks like we're about 110. Although I believe Amir, I have great hopes for our racers here. We got some great players joining us here today, and even specialists in GT4s too. So I'm hoping we can get that down to like a 109, 108. Am I crazy, Amir?
Well, it's not far beyond the stretch, the realms of possibility as well, because we did see just now a lot of these guys were doing 110s during practice. But we'll wait and see if anyone can break that fabled 110 barrier.
I mean, it's a little bit of a barrier, but keep in mind, I mean, we haven't even warmed up yet. I mean, we did have a little bit of practice, but for the most part, our racers are still kind of acclimatizing their cars, their bodies, everything else to what's going on right now. Let's kind of talk about a little bit of our timing tower here. We do have quite a few racers joining us. I think we had over 30 signups for today's race, so really excited to see a lot of new faces here and some old faces coming back and joining us. Jungmin An is coming back once again. We do have Jaehan An, his fellow countryman, also here racing along with us. Yeah, really just a who's who. I think we actually will have a couple more join in just a second. I heard there were a few more coming in here. But really, Jansen Ferreira is first time out here as well. Fabio Goes, never seen him in AMX. So there's some mysteries, wild cards out there, Amir. I don't know what to expect, but this is where we find out. That's like the entire point of our qualifiers. And currently, it's Victor Miranda, Ariel, and Kieran Harrison up there at the top 3.
Yeah, I'm expecting Quarantine Genius to actually come up with an absolutely stonking lap here. So he's actually going for it, but his second sector wasn't the best. So is Kieran Harrison. But make no mistake, that final sector may be a make or break for some of these guys. As you can see, there's hard on the brakes coming into Sunset Bend. Well, once actually half of it, but then uses the other escape route that's normally not used during the Sebring 12 hours. Cross the line, some of them go. Miranda goes on top onto pole position. Where's Harrison? P2 by just behind by a 10.
Yeah, really, it's always insane to me how you can still have a slow sector, and you went so fast in the first one. Such a huge improvement on the pace. You still come out with a fastest lap. Miranda really fighting off Harrison right now. A pretense or a precursor, a portent of things to come, perhaps. Foreshadowing going on right here, Amir. It's setting up to be a very, very exciting time, and we haven't really even seen some laps come through from guys like Giuseppe Lafaro, who's kind of struggling to get on up there, and Ferreira, like I was talking about earlier, his first time joining us here, and I'm excited to see what he has to show us. Also, Nico Godoy still looking to put some times up there on the board as well. So I believe things might change around here. And we do still have those 2 Black Pro licenses from Victor Miranda and Gustavo Ariel. So definitely some cream of the crop getting mixed in here to AMX 0 today.
Yep, interesting point to know that every single one of them, for the most part, have an A license. So a lot of these guys know how to do road courses. and across the line goes Miranda, and he'll be starting another lap. But go back to your point, yeah, this is definitely some of the best guys that are not racing in AMX 10, but they are still fast enough to be among the cats among the pigeons here in AMX 0. So it'll be interesting to see how this qualifying session plays out and into the first race.
Oh yeah, totally. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, or this is your first time racing or joining or watching, whatever, we do have AMX 10. That's where we're going to see our tip-top racers, pinnacle of competition a little bit later on. Racers like this guy. This is Kieran Harrison. He plays for Team SimRC, and if you want to follow him on his social media, there it is. 24 years old, and this guy is a monster. Behind that, calm and demure persona, don't let it fool you. He is a killer, and we've seen him do some absolutely disgusting things. He won at the wire on the finish line yesterday at AMX 0, and I'm expecting to see another really, really impressive performance coming through here. Currently in second place, and one of those top 3 racers who could really break that 1:10 time if he really wants to put the pedal to the metal. So I'm excited to see guys like Kieran and a whole host of amazing racers coming up here today.
Certainly, and quite a few of them are actually experienced enough to have, like you said, the black licenses, which is pro, even world championship level guys. So you really see how the level of qualification for these guys is tip top.
Top. Everybody's got a different definition for like who's the best, right? Who's the GOAT, right? I don't know if we have one of those here. But when it comes, you can look at iRating, right? And then that's why we've got a bunch of different stats. So iRating wise, it's hard to get past Gustavo Ariel. This guy's sitting at almost 11,000 iRating. It's just crazy. I can't even count that high. I have to take off my shoes and socks to count that high. It's so impressive to see what he's got cooking up for us here today. So I'm glad we can put him on the screen here for just a second. Guys like Kieran Harrison also way up there, 8K, 9K. Our racers so skilled. And if this is scary to you, well, it's the month of October, so it's a spooky time anyway. But don't let it worry you. I mean, we pay out to the top 15. We've got reverse grid coming through here to give you a little bit of a boost if you can get up there. And more than anything, the format, the races, the cars, the tracks, the combos, we're trying to have a good time here. So if you want to have a good time with us, whatever your iRating is, go ahead, join up, do your best. It's a great time anyway, and that's why we have so many racers here. All trying to do a little bit of everything, right? Have a good time, win some money, compete against the best, make a name for yourself, get your name out there. Basically everything, you can do it all at AMX 0 here for free. So guys like Quarantine Guinness, who has now stolen that top spot away with a 1:10.451 thousandths better. But, technicalities still count. He's up there in first place.
Yeah, 4,000s, that's actually quite minuscule, especially on the short circuit, where you see times, for example, 1.5 seconds behind Villas Boas, about 1.1, seconds behind Gines. So that's actually quite a lot of time, might be 1 second around a short track. So can you imagine, 4,000s difference, it's just the size of a bee. That's how small it is.
The size of a bee. Everybody's got hobbies. For some people, it's sim racing. For some people, it's bee measuring. And I just want to let you know, Amir, I don't judge you. It's okay. I mean, I measure some things too sometimes. For bees, I think we might be on point there. And honestly, we could see differences like that. We actually had Kieran Harrison. I mentioned it yesterday in AMX 0. He won by 16 thousandths of a second. That's how many bees is that, Amir?
Based on the estimation that we had, I can say 4 Bs because it's 4,000s.
All right, this is how we count tracks now, guys. Your speed is like measuring in parsecs in Star Wars. We're measuring it in Bs now. Regardless, there's many Bs out here. We've got, do we have any B racers? Sandro de las Boas. Okay, Boas, you're our only B? Is that like a rare racing initial? TIL, okay? We're doing research here live in AMX 0. We're looking at Dornella right now. We don't talk about this guy enough. He won once, we interviewed him. Wow, so sick. And now we just don't talk about it. But honestly, he's really improving, and he's always up there in the top 10, so definitely a guy that you can look for. And it's it's hard to do that. You know, we live in a superlative society, Amir, and so if you're winning, wow, you're the best. And if you're losing, we don't care. Except in AMX, where we're all trying to have a good time. So I'm glad we can highlight guys like Lucas Tornella, who is just coming out here as a solid racer, putting up good numbers and doing his best. He's sitting on 110.999 right now.
Well, having said that, he did win in the biggest class of all, which was AMX 10. So that's his one and only heat race win of this season. But can he crack, you know, yeah. But can he break that old chestnut in this particular league? We'll have to wait and see first. But for the time being, he is up in that top 10, and he's starting way at the sharp end for the reverse grid.
The sharp end. I wish we did grids like that, you know, like a pyramid shape, and then you fan out behind. But I feel like that would be total carnage. This is also why I don't get to make the rules. Jackson Resenje, we're on board with him right now as one of the guys you should absolutely expect to see up in there in the top 5. A cool 110.8 for now, but let's see if he can improve. We are closing the door on qualifiers here in just a few seconds. You can actually technically join during qualifiers if you would like. It might be a little bit late now, but yeah, 15 minutes is all you got. So with about 3 left, we are checking out some final lap times being put up there. Not many improvements. Although, as I say that, Nico Godoy's got a green sector. So let's see what he can do. Maybe climb up a little bit in the standings. Right now, he is currently maybe a little bit lower than he might like. Currently sitting in 23rd place. And you do have to get to that coveted 15th place spot in order to get reverse gridded to the top of the field in heat number 1. So a lot to fight for in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, for Godoy, especially the fact that he is way at the back behind the one of 2 Jay Ans, but no relation, Jongmin An and Jay Hanan. So it's just similar initials, but I don't think there's any relation in there whatsoever. But
No. They are
yes.
twins. They're conjoined. They're racing on the same... I don't know. No, it is 2 people, but that is kind of funny.
That's a bit of Cyberpunk 2077, isn't it? Where you meet a couple of NPCs where they were twin heads, but it's actually one person.
No, see, that's the perfect sim racer, okay? You're trying to do like the heel-toe technique. No. You just have 4 legs. That's how you get the job done, Amir. You're on to something here. We got to get some cybernetics involved. Speaking of cybernetics, I'm 100% sure this guy is a cyborg sent from the future into the past to become the greatest sim racer, Quarantine Ganez. He too is on SimRC, just like his teammate Karen Harrison, and these guys battle it out. This is not some team orders kind of stuff. They are going head to head. Teammates, they have achieved such incredible achievements. That's what you achieve. And whether it's Hyundai and Global Tournament, virtual, Le Mans, they've got TCR championships under their badge, and they're really representing SimRC incredibly well. You should absolutely expect to see them way up at the top of the standings, as you do. Quarantine Ganez finishing in first, if nothing changes in the last 30 seconds. Knock on wood. A 110.4, so we didn't quite break that 110 barrier, but we did get pretty darn close. Inez Miranda Harrison for now, and I don't know if we're going to see anything change in the last 15 seconds, Amir.
Harrison actually just got displaced by Ariel there, so Ariel's moved up back to P3. So there was the change that you talked about.
I really am trying to curse these guys. Wow, last second, Harrison gets deposed down to 4th. But it's not terrible. He's going to get 1 higher place once we reverse grid. So that's a silver lining on the cloud of that last second race to the finish. Really cool to see things just still happening at the very last second. I was trying to cosmically urge some last second displacements there, and indeed it did happen. And there's the guy you just saw on your screen a few seconds ago in our player spotlight, your session winner for qualifiers for AMX 0 Race 12, Quarantine Ganez. Victor Miranda, Gustavo Ariel round out your top 3. Karen Harrison did just barely get deposed, 500ths late. And then Jackson Resenje rounding out your top 5 in the 99 car. Josh Perwin right underneath. And actually some surprises. We did have Eliseo. Guillermo Eliseo. This is a guy we've seen win or get top 2, top 3 a lot. Especially yesterday. It was a great day for Eliseo. And now there he is down at 15th. I don't know if that was strategic, but he is going to get flipped up into first position, as you can see there on your screen for heat number 1. rolling start underway right about.
Yep.
Nah, it's not going to happen. Okay, take it away, Amir.
Yeah, they're on the dummy grid right now, so we're waiting to go for the formation lap. And after it spun around, it looks as though Eliseo has gotten the proverbial pole position, albeit after qualifying 15th in front of Giuseppe Lofaro, with Fabio Zamperlini right behind him in third. So Italian in between the Brazilian sandwich in the first two rows, with Rodrigo Lazowski in fourth place. Reed?
Yes, Amir?
Yep, go ahead with the rest of the field.
Okay, no. I mean, you guys can read the field on your screen right now. We're scrolling way down because there are a lot of cars out there. Your top 3, top 4, this is not all the story is. And as we get down here to the 15th place, you might recognize these guys as the first place finishers from our qualifiers. They got flipped back down here, but some of our racers did not. You're seeing Fabio Goes, new to AMX, didn't quite get there, so he's already in 16th. Sandro Boas, Diego Villarreal, they're down here and haven't quite climbed up there, so they've got quite a road ahead of them. But if anybody can do it, is guys like Diego Villarreal, who did win his first race, his first heat of AMX Global League Season 3 yesterday. So congratulations to him. Glad to see some success from a guy who's really been fighting for it for a very long time. Maybe it's his year, maybe it's his season. We'll find out in races like today. GT4 is on Sebring. Starting out with a nice rolling start to get things started on a modified version of Sebring. We mentioned this earlier, but in case you just missed it, we are on the modified track. It's just the lower part with a little bit of an extra quirk right before you hit the finish line. So don't know if I've seen this raced in a lot of other sim racing leagues. So I'm glad we're mixing it up to give a little bit of extra flavor to the otherwise very ubiquitous GT4s out there.
Yep. And you did mention salt in the air just now with us being in Florida. So it's basically Cajun right now with everything spotted in between.
You were the one that mentioned Brazilian sandwiches earlier. So now we're salting things, and I'm just getting a lot hungrier. I just learned today that a mortadella sandwich, one of the goats of all sandwiches, is Brazilian. So shout out to those guys. That's essential information to racing on Sebring, so you guys better write that down. We haven't started racing on Sebring. We're getting ready for it, so I gotta raise the camber of my voice as we... See what I'm doing there? It's almost time, and I can't wait to do this. We cool little hot lap to kind of guide our way around. But as we get ready, the pace car is out there, and we are ready to go for AMX 0 Race 12. Starting out with a nice fan out from our GT4s as they go through the start-finish line. Eliseo, Zamperlini, Oliveira, your top 3. Watching the cars flicker into the shade as they all stay basically on the track. No drastic spins right now. We're doing well, and we're only one turn in, Amir.
Yep, but here comes the choke point. This is going to be quite dangerous as the circuit just tightens up.
Oh, okay. It just sure does, Amir. Wow, just watch it right there. The sphincter of Sebring passed through with flying colors. So very good to see a nice start to the race. A little bit of a racing line forming here as we tie the string on between each one of our cars, and I'm excited to see it. Whoa, okay. I just had to say it, okay? An early spin, and unfortunately that means rejoining in the back there. And actually, we have a little bit of a tragedy there towards the back as Jansen Ferreira, our new guy, a little bit of a rough start. He's back there with Jaeon on, Jongmin on, and yeah, no, it's those guys in the back for now. Next to Diego Villarreal is dropped back to 19.
Yep, that's the biggest loser of all the drivers here, but the biggest gain has to be Corentin Gines, who's gained 3 positions, so that's actually him getting a move on in that first lap with Eliseo right in front of Zamperlini.
Yeah, wow, no, we are already 2 laps in. This is going very quickly after that, rolling start, so not a lot of time is what I'm trying to say. And let's take a look at some of these winners. You got guys like Ariel Inez Harrison. They got reverse gridded, so it's the climb is all there is for them. So we're on board with Ariel Guinness Harrison as they flip-flop back and forth, going wheel to wheel. This racing action so crazy. They're trying to, I don't know, what is that, a mountain through a molehill? Something through the eye of a needle? Moats? I don't know. We're trying to thread all these cars through Sebring sphincters. Thank you for that one, Amir. And it looks like we can just barely get the job done. You know, you got to kind of ease the cars through, and there they go. Side by side, the overtake's so impressive, and we're only on lap 2, Amir.
Yep, the two teammates working together there, Gines and Harrison. Luckily, they didn't come a cropper, but now they're on the cusp of the top 10. They're going for it here with some of the drivers setting their fastest laps as we come up to lap number 3.
Lap number 3 underway. Fastest lap currently, Kulhavi. Getting up there in the 110s, so already we got some good qualifier times. You expect things to be a little bit slower in the race from qualifiers, so anytime you hit those 110s, you know you are on pace. Speaking of on pace, we got Ariel climbing up, but we got some fallers. Oliveira really struggling there against some absolute monsters stuck in the back of the pack, so he's currently sitting at 12th, but has had his time in the sun, so see if he can climb up there, although it looks like he is falling back, dropping out of the order, which lets guys like Miranda, Harrison, Gines hit the climb. Currently, biggest winners are +7 for Nico Godoy. This guy, a real character, really funny guy, but sometimes struggles in the back. Currently, he's thriving back there next to guys like Josh Perwian, guys that we've seen win races who've dropped down 7 places to be right alongside. So lots to talk about down there at the back of the grid. We're on board with Quarantine Gines, though. First place in qualifiers, trying to climb back up there, only in 10th, though, and with some impressive competition down there. Jackson Resenje, Kieran Harrison, Gaspar, and Ariel right around the Frenchman as he tries the car.
Yep, as that move didn't really work out as well, but Ariel slightly compromised on the entry, but really good on the exit, so that's why he manages to get Gaspar behind as we're now moving up in front. 0.2 of a second between Eliseo and Zamperlini.
Oh, no, and that's the fastest right now, but it's not going to last for long as the times are absolutely just shriveling up, evaporating here, sublimating, if you will. Fast and solid, guys. Top 2, Eliseo, Zamperlini, battling it out, the pedal to the metal. He's going to go for it. He's hitting the, he's looking for it around the outside, into the turn, on the inside. He can't get the wheel in. Has to slam on the brakes there for a second, but right back at it after the turn. We've got another one coming up, and this means that for now, Zamperlini might have to take a little bit of a backseat. I'm just saying that so that he'll try to pass in about 0.5 seconds. Didn't happen, but still, 1/10 is not that much. Amir, that's my expert analysis.
You try to counter-jinx that, I would say, because normally what happens when you say something is jinxing it, but this is counter-jinxing. But it looks as though Zamperlini just cannot get the legs up on the Porsche right front, because the Aston somehow on the straights is not as fast compared to the Porsches, but through the corners it's actually much better. And look at that, he's actually closing right up on the exit as we head into the final sector here on the shortened version of Sebring.
Yeah, but crucially, you'll see he slams on the gas, it gets super close, really into the momentum, and then they hit a corner and he has to brake super hard. So it's like, you know, when you go for big moves like that, you got to have the room to execute. And currently that room has not been there, so we reached the halfway point for our time here on the modified Sebring. Dornella on board with this guy, talked about his potential, his previous success, and he's going back at it. Top 5, that's not bad. He's got Lasowski in front of him, although who even knows? He's like 3/10 behind everybody. With Gerardo Ramos looking to climb, he is making the move. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to close that one out, but he is really absolutely motoring. And Dornella also, 3/10 back. Could happen at any moment. Some struggles in the back continue for the bottom 5-10 racers, so primarily going to be focusing up here for battles like number 1, Eliseo. I think I said this guy's name earlier, Amir, in the conjunction with, hey, by the way, he could be first. You got flipped up there, and now there he is, maintaining through 5 laps. 6 laps now, he's maintained, and has done a great job holding on to that coveted position.
On the halfway point, there's always a bit confidence builder because you want to actually be leading as much as possible so that you can actually know that you got to pace up against the guys behind, and he has staved off the advances of Zamperlini. But for how long? For the time being, though, he manages to gap him himself and Zamperlini onto the back straight. So he's doing an excellent job so far in holding on to that lead.
I believe it's stoven off. It's staved off he has. He's done a great defensive drive so far. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him, but it's getting a little bit dirty behind. Trying to see if he can hold off Zamperlini, Lofaro, Lisowski. And by the way, the climb I said was happening earlier, it is still going on. Ariel's all the way up into 5th now. Inez struggling. Oh no, it's Lofaro who spun out. There he is on your screen right now. All the way out of the order, parked on the pavement, out of the way, and out of the race. And that means that while things might be easier in the front for Eliseo, Zamperlini, Dornella, they're getting a lot more heated right behind. That battle for like 3rd or something is Penn Cars. Whoa, it's Lisowski. He's out of there. Mike, no. So that's a struggle, but like I said, the air becoming more and more rarefied up here at the top. Caio Gaspar, 1/10 away, and he is looking for the move as they come back through the straight lap 7 starting here. A really, really fun race so far, Amir.
Absolutely, and the GT4s are providing great action. Again, no power cars just provide so much good fun. And case in point here, despite being different manufacturers, we're still getting some swapping and changes everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is truly what it is. It is the difficulty, the hell for the racers, but the heaven for us. We are really in racing nirvana as viewers right now. So much action like that, side by side, action swapping at the top, in the midfield. Guys like Gaspar going for these huge moves because they know the time is running out, Amir.
Yep, as we look at what happened to Lofaro on the inset there, it looks like he just got helped around. I think by one of the same RC cars, we're not sure who's that one. But, oh no, it's actually not one of the same RC cars, it's different altogether. But yeah, this is coming to the crucial time now. The final 3 laps here, Reed. And looks as though Eliseo still somehow manages to ease away in front of Zamperlini. While further behind there, we saw Gines with a lovely maneuver on Gaspar to go up to P5.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to make that call, right? If you sack positions or you want to finish in that 15th spot in qualifiers, that's a big move. You're sacrificing all of your winnings from one of the parts of the race to get the best possible shot in the next one. And it requires that you're able to hang on to that spot. And with a drive like Eliseo, he is really doing his best. But he's got tight competition behind him. Tight. Zamperlini looking to come back up. And on the final lap, it looks like he is finally in the range to make a move. 2, 3, 4 tenths. It's wavering back and forth, waffling, vacillating, if you will. But I think he could do it. We've seen a storied history of overtakes at the last possible second. We might have another one being set up here, as you can look at just how tight that is. Zamperlini in the lead after a huge overtake. Ariel, though, he's made his climb all the way up to the very bottom of the field, and now he's in second, looking to make a trip around the outside. Gotta maybe stay on the track there, but I think Zamperlini, with an epic overtake for the lead, might just lose it back here to Ariel.
Look at that, the Porsche on the straightaway is much faster compared to the Aston. Look at that good exit. Coming up to the second to last corner. Will he make it around the outside on the penultimate lap?
Oh, Zamperlini's trying to make it back, and I think he just might on the inside. Wheel to wheel. Wide goes Ariel, but he's still in the lead.
Oh, somehow Zamperlini still manages to hold on there, despite a good exit for Ariel. We go into the final lap. White flag flies, and that is wheel-to-wheel action between the Aston and the Porsche. Who's going to come out on top here? Ariel goes through the inside and takes the lead.
Amir, are there lanes on this track? Are we going too wide all up and down the field? I don't know. It looks like it. It's moves like Guinness now up into 4th with a big move over Eliseo. The guy I was hyping up is a huge defensive drive. No, down into 5th. He's down there with Caio Gaspar, Calabi, Miranda, Harrison, all these guys. Race winners, they need to be back up there, but that's how tight this top of the field is. Absolutely so difficult. Now we're on Zamperlini's tail again. He's got a new leader to overtake. Dornella right on his heels too. No, it doesn't get much faster than this. Look at what we got here. Sart right next to that beautiful Astro Logitech livery, trying to make this overtake happen, back for the battle for 6th, while we return to take a look at the plus 12 place drive from Ariel as he heads through what could be a race win. It is going to go down to the wire, Amir.
Yep, and he manages to stay ahead there as he comes across the line through the final corner. What a win from Gustavo Ariel with an absolutely brilliant overtake in the final lap to take victory here in this first heat.
And checker flags flying. Harrison now crossing in 9th, Ramos 10th. goes a new guy that we haven't seen before here in 12th on his first drive. That's not bad. That's in the money. Jayon On and Josh Perwin finish just at the cutoff there with Ribeiro, another newer face to AMX, finishing just below the cash in heat number 1, and we'll just barely miss out on that flip back around. The checker flag still coming through as we run through a 27 driver field today. I think we had 27. No, 23. That's the count. All right. But it is a lot of racers out there, and it's a lot to see, or it's a lot to focus on. So, of course, a big shout out to our production team for showing us all that greatness we just witnessed, Amir.
Absolutely. They caught every single action, even up to the replays we saw in the inset. So, shout out again. These guys are doing God's work to give us all the good footage to see while the action's out on track.
And here's a look at your final Heat 1 results from AMX Global, well, AMX 0, Race 12, Global Season 3. Gustavo Ariel, Zamperlini Guinez, your top 3. Ornella and Elizeo rounding out the top 5. Some really surprising, drives like Kieran Harrison, who really struggled to get through that midfield on his drive up towards the top. Same situation for Victor Miranda and Calavi as they were trying to get past, but man, it's just so tough. So many very skilled racers. You can see your session winner Ariel there on your screen. He's not done yet. Still focusing. Might be breaking a sweat a little bit. So nice to see him getting adjusted. Representing, of course, Tony Kanaan Racing Brazil. So very happy to have him and a whole host of his teammates. I think there's like 10 TK Brazil or TK Racing, Mexico Racing by Tony Kanaan drivers. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's almost 10. We're getting up there. So a lot of representation from our Brazilian racers. 5 in the top 6. Looks like it's working pretty well for me.
It's quite nice to see that former IndyCar driver and multiple times Indianapolis 500 winner having his esports team well represented here. And the Brazilians, of course, love their racing. They really work together here to give each other a chance to be at the top. But for the time being, the top is being held by Josh Perwin, who's in front of Jay Hanan on the first 2 rows after finishing 15th and 14th respectively. Rodrigo Lozowski, after being hunted out, manages to finish in P13. He starts third today for heat number 2. Fabio goes, the brand new driver, he starts in 4th. And behind him, Pedro Oliveira in P5. So 3 Brazilians, 1 South Korean, and 1 Australian in the top 5. What a grid at the front with an Iberian in P6.
Yeah, and the first 7 rows are going to be your top 15, right? Almost. 7.5 or 7.5 rows. And that's really where the action is going to come from. I don't believe that we have seen a drive this season from a player starting outside the top 15, making it to number 1. So if that exists, we have yet to see it, and I'm excited. I'm always keeping an eye on some of these fringe stats, Amir, and or making them up completely. So I really do want to see some of the cool, come from behind victories. We still haven't seen an AMX Triple Crown winner that's winning qualifier Heat 1 and Heat 2. We've come dangerously close. I'll check the stats on that, but it's still very, very difficult. We really do want to highlight the greatest successes of our racers. So happy to see some of those happening. I mean, basically every race. So let's see what's in store for us today, Amir, as we get ready. You can hear the engines revving. We are underway with our final heat of the night. It's GT4s out on Modified Sebring. We've already got spinners in the beginning. We're starting our Beyblade battle early at Gustavo Ariel, narrowly avoiding some of these spins. Are some of the winners from our league. It's Elizeo Guinez back down to 19th and 20th respectively.
Oh, that's a painful way to start a race, isn't it? Barely before even crossing the start-finish line, you already have a spin. But they can console themselves knowing for a fact that they still have 10 laps to make up for it. But that's not the best way to start a race.
Truer words, never spoken. Dropping down Oliveira. Looks like he might have spun out. There he is. Not going to be very happy with that. And I think it's actually still continuing to happen. We've got our bottom 5 or 6 racers already struggling at the very beginning of the race. Previous race winner, Diego Villarreal from yesterday, down in 17th. Struggling it up down there as we hop on board with Lisowski. Climbing up into second. Wow. What a move. Erwin. Josh. From down under. No, he gets spun. Trying to help him out. Being pushed back on the track. No, straight into the barriers. And the camera curse is real. Lisowski dropping all the way back down.
And he got a further. Yeah, further. It's a bit of afters afterwards with him getting Lisowski getting really rear-ended by Villas-Boas there. And more action going up in front. Oh my word! It's not kicking off.
Happening? Amir, stop! Stop the curse! It's real. What's going on? We're not even a lap through. I mean, we had our formation lap, and I'm glad that we made it through that. But like, that's the bare minimum. As soon as we tell people to start going, their steering wheels aren't pointing the right direction. Garrett Harrison, we're on board with this guy up into 4th after already some big climbs, +9 from Gustavo Ariel, who's magically threaded his way through the competition. And I was talking about the big climbs from outside the top 15. We've got Fierro Del Fuego. He's all the way up into 11th with a +11 drive along with Giuseppe Lofero. Wow, love the drives. Up into the top 15, really impressive as we check out the crash at the very beginning. Oh man, as soon as we take the pace car away, we really need to bring it back out. That is not the way you want to start your race. So some tragedy means that the top 15 are really our only competitive racers, and thinning out field here to see who will take down this final of the night for AMX Zero.
Yeah, Josh actually got a really good getaway at the start, but it may have been a bit too soon because the guy in second place right beside him, which was J9, didn't get even remotely a good start. He dropped to P8, so he got caught up big time by the fact that Josh stole a march on it, almost like baseball, where he stole it first base and just checked out. So that's how he literally got a jump on everybody while everyone else was checking out behind him.
Yeah, got to keep your foot on the bag. It is not easy to maintain those top spots. Both of the ons now down to the bottom of the top 10. Giuseppe Lofero with a nice move up into 11th. Ariera right down behind him. Might even be able to retake that spot as we keep focusing on Kieran, who makes a big move up into 3rd. This top 3 changing all over the place. Gerardo Ramos might even be able to get up there as Ariel continues his +10 climb back to where he started up in the top 5. What a monster drive as Kyle Gaspar continues to try to make one of his 3/10 behind.
Yeah, that was again coming and changing as per usual because slow car, we have to reiterate, really provides some good racing, and GT4 is no different as we were looking at a battle for P5, 6, and 7 for a second. Now we're back at it again. Gaspar, Manella, and Hanan are battling out here. 2 Porsches and 1 Mercedes in the middle.
Yeah, that's a Mercedes sandwich, if you want to look up what those are. Gaspar, he's doing a great job kind of gatekeeping here from guys like Dornella. On fell through him down there, and Zamperlini's still on his climb. So Gaspar, he's in a good place right now, but all he has to do is race his own race, not worry too much about Dornella. I've seen him kind of struggle with the overtaking game as he starts to fall back a little bit here. We're not quite halfway through as we check out Go's crash replay as he... Ready for it, Amir?
He goes off.
There it is. You saw it coming. That's what I like, this telepathy. We've got our cast of brains here. Similarly needing to be muted at the nearest possible moment. Karen Harrison, we're checking him out in the top 3. I'm not going to say where he deserves to be, but we did see his driver profile. He is one of the best racers we see here, and I'm excited to see what he can pull off. Guys like On, which one is this? I think this is Jehan On in 8th. Indeed it is. Yep. In 8th and doing a decent job staying there. But he dropped down 2 there, and that makes me kind of wonder which direction are we going from now? Are we going to maintain? Plus? Minus? He does have the world's largest steering wheel, which may lead him to climb up in the points or at least maintain. But guys like Zamperlini behind him might try to flip that. A big power move, trying to find his way around, and Zamperlini is not content to stay back of On, and I think he might be able to do it. He did almost exactly the same thing in heat number 1, so absolutely could see him do it again, as there it is, Zamperlini moving through.
Oh, he just let him by, actually. So Hanan there just, I think, didn't have the good momentum coming out of the corner, so he just wanted to let that guy behind by, Zamperlini by, so that he doesn't have to deal with shenanigans coming into the braking zone.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit difficult. You can try to run 24 hours of the world's best defensive drive, but like, come on. We're trying to have fun here. So now the J-On sandwich is meatless. There's nothing going on there. It's just bread on bread. Ariel in fourth, doing his best defensive drive to keep off Ramos, who wants that place back. Well, I don't know about back. He's still +1, but this is where the action's at. I mean, maybe there's some stuff going on down south, but it's Ramos, Ariel for that top 5 spot. We got plenty of time to race, but I think it's starting to wear on these drivers. Start to like think, okay, is it just good enough for me to just race my own race, or do I have to worry? Oh my God, my rear view mirror, it's so scary. But currently, Ariel, I don't think he's really worried too much about that. He's in his iconic Porsche, and he's making moves. 11 so far being made all the way up into 4th, so I think he's probably pretty confident right now.
And again, he's using the power of that Porsche to just literally ease away from Gerardo Ramos. Ramos with no answer in that Aston Martin, so Porsche's utilizing the straights here quite well against some of the other cars.
The biggest straight on this modified Sebring right here, the start-finish line. Fastest lap being set by Kieran Harrison as he motors into 3rd. What a monster move. Kieran Harrison now in the top 3. I don't know about that. Ariel 2 seconds back, so that's not that bad. Back in the back now, we're watching Quarantine Guinness, Giuseppe no, it's not Lofaro. Oh yeah, it is Lofaro and Ferrari area. Yeah, I'm doing it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, Zach Brown, that's the way to do it. Oh, there we go.
I love it. Whoa!
Miranda goes for the lead.
It up in a second, and he does get it. Perwin now in 3rd after being way up there. He might try for it again. Ariel still back 2 seconds, but I mean, look at how competitive this top 3 is, Amir.
Yeah, Aston Martin, Porsche, but with Miranda and Harrison being the class of the field here up to the front. I think Perwin may have actually backed off slightly because he wants to actually get back on the slipstream. He knows full well that the suckage is very strong in these cars.
Yeah, Amir. That's cool. Miranda in the lead after earning it the hard way, but how long can he keep it? Let's not forget the killer, Kieran Harrison. Kieran the Killer Harrison. I did it. I made up a nickname. Kieran did this exact same thing in the last race, or in AMX 0 yesterday, where he makes you think, oh, I'm going to finish in 2nd, and then he absolutely gets it down at the inside and makes you regret everything you never stole. It's a big move in the future. I'm predicting it right now. Harrison for another at-the-wire win. I want to see it. After having it yesterday, I'm spoiled, Amir. I want it back.
Yes, 2 for 2 if you want to put it that way, as Harrison then lines one up, but he has no way through, so he's going to line it up onto the start-finish straight. Let's see if he can make that possible read.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. The foreshadowing, right? You got to set up your move before you make it. He's scratching his head right now. He's thinking, okay, I tried my best move. Maybe I got to work a little bit harder because we are coming up on the final lap, Amir. We got one more to set things up like you talked about, but if you can't get it done, time is running out. And we still have the potential, the possibility, dare I say, of some shenanigans, more tragedy befalling some of our racers who can't quite keep pointed the right direction. We got J-On on slowing down the field as he falls down it. But already a lot of big winners driving forward. Giuseppe Lofaro plus 11 into the top 15. We've got some big drives, like I said earlier, from Ariel, who's still, I guarantee you in his head, he's thinking, no, I got this. Maybe he doesn't got it. But Victor Miranda, I saw a little bit of a smile there. I think he might think he got it. Victor Miranda. Nice to see him up there and holding for now. But with Harrison about to make that big, ooh, he was looking at it, Amir. He had his hand in the cookie jar. He's trying to get around for this final lap before the white flag waves. He got dangerously close to that barrier. Harrison still trying for this big move that's been the whole race in the making.
Waiting for that killer move coming into turn 1. This might be the killer move. He's got the pace around the outside.
Oh, no. Can't make it stick right now. Man, Amir, That was it. No, it wasn't. We've still got time. The white flag is out, which means that time is running out. And Harrison still maintains this top 2/10, 1/10. He's going for it all the time. But how much longer is really left? We got about a half this track left, Amir. And Harrison, he's done it before. Can he do it again? The overtake at the last second. They're off the track right now, going everywhere it takes to get the job done. But it might be too much to ask. Harrison has seconds left before this race is over.
Yeah, trying to counter jinx that here because he is in the slipstream, and the Porsche we've seen so far is fast onto the back straight, coming into the penultimate corner. He's going side!
No, he's at the wheel. 3/10, 25 around the corner. He's still keeping it tight, but the seconds are going. We are almost to the grid, and there it is at the last second. He comes around. He's on the outside. It's hundreds, thousands between them. Harrison in the lead, and he gets him at the wire. Miranda can't hold on. Harrison comes through for a photo finish in the win.
Wow, there you go, Reed. You got your 2 for 2. Harrison with yet another last lap masterclass. What a mover on the outside. He made it stick, kept it flat to the floor, and takes it by just 0.08 of a second.
What a drive. Kieran Harrison does it again, the 2-time. He's back up at the top of the ceiling. The rarefied air just so just gifting us another amazing performance. What a drive to finish it out. And Amir, this is AMX 0. This race is free to enter. You can just join. You think you got a good seat right now? You think you're leaning back in your lazy boy, your recliner, your extra super hyper gamer chair? No, you got to get a closer view. AMXrace.com, sign up, join, check it out for yourself. Kieran Harrison, your winner by not that much, 800ths of a second, man. What is this guy doing? Victor Miranda robbed. His piggy bank smashed. The money taken. The bad man, Kieran, number 1. Victor Miranda, number 2. Gustavo Ariel, a monster, plus 11 run, I want to say. Up from the bottom, reverse gridded him out of the standings, now back up into top 3. Josh Pruitt had the lead, couldn't hold it. Kyle Gaspar never had it, but had a top 5. That's not bad. Some other big names down there. We did have the bottom spot be taken by Jackson Resenge, who fought off Pedro Oliveira. So that was a tight battle, but it is just a battle for 14th. There is no heat beyond this, so no more reverse grid. This is it. This is the way the cookie crumbled. And you can see, I love the look on Kieran Harrison's face there at the end. You could just see he's like, no way. He knows he is a bad, bad man, Amir.
Yeah, he went for the killer move and did it in the worst way possible. Such a cruel way to lose a race for Miranda. But apart from that, that is the best way to win for Harrison. Again, the last lap masterclass, he kind of teed it up in the previous lap, waited until the very final lap to make his move, and made it stick and paid dividends big time.
Just the chef's kiss, man. You can't get much closer than that. We are being truly spoiled. We're obviously making a big deal about the front of the field, but we did have almost 30 racers join us today. I think we wound up being about 23. That's almost 30 in my book. So really cool to see so much action just across the entire field, the whole race long. Really cool race here on the modified version of Sebring. GT4s, a lot of races have them, but no race has what we witnessed here tonight, Amir. So I actually think that our production is going to give us another little treat. Walk us through this battle for the finish, Amir.
Yeah, Miranda on the inside, on the outside goes Harrison. He had a better line because he kept it flat. The much less narrow radius all the way to the start finish line, and that helped out big time. So that's why Harrison, of course, using the power of the Porsche to just get his way through. Miranda had no answer to it, Reed.
Man, so Miranda had answers all race long, and I really could not wish for a better end to there. And even Miranda, he got dropped there at the end, but you have to kind of just smile and wave and be like, that's how it happens. Top 2, respectful, and no matter what happened during the race. So very exciting to see so much fast and competitive racing. I was going to ask you, Amir, what was your favorite moment of the race? But I feel like, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think both races were good, but we'll have to go for the photo finish. That was absolutely bonkers, and I can't wait to see what we'll see next after this with the AMX Pro guys going at it.
That's right. Coming up, we have a very iconic track with even more iconic cars. I'll tease you on that and we'll reveal it when we come back after a short break. But before we go back, you have homework. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram. Links are right down below your screen. You can follow and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. We are partners, so you can hook that up as fast as you want, and we appreciate your support, your viewership. Tell your friends, not just to watch, not just to send us messages about how cool everything, but also to join us. And if you do want to join us, you can head on over to amxrace.com. You can sign up for AMX 0. It's free. AMX 10, it is free for a limited time if you're fast enough, and normally $10 to join. So AMX 10 is coming up, and you do not want to miss it. It's the pinnacle of competition tonight. It's almost time. But before we get into that, we have to take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We've got that and a whole lot more coming up as AMX Global League Season 3 continues right after this.
to save our home, we must travel through the gateway to find new energy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the AMX Global League Season 3. We are back for our final race of the night. AMX 10, the pinnacle competition this season. We are on Imola racing GT3, so it doesn't get much more iconic than this. The San Marino Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it. It is one of the most famous tracks, one of the oldest tracks out there, and has hosted some of the best names, the biggest races in the world. And so tonight we are bringing it out with a very iconic car or cars, the GT3 class. And Amir, what do you think of this combo?
It's a very good combo, not gonna lie. I'm looking really forward to it because one, it's GT3s, we're expecting some really close action, and two, it's a very technical circuit where a lot can go wrong if you put a foot wrong somewhere.
And I totally agree. Not only just putting a foot wrong somewhere, but if somebody else wrong somewhere, some of these turns are not turns you can take 12 wide, like we've seen some of our racers try in previous seasons. So really hoping for a good race, a safe race, and we do have some of our best racers joining us here today. So very excited to get into our first qualifying session. But before we do that, we have to break down a little bit of what we can expect. If you are new to AMX Global League this season, here's what you can expect. We started on the September 20th, and we're going all the way to December 10th, about 3 months for our racers to fight for over $25,000. We have the most races in a year, 72, unless you can show me otherwise, and a really cool variety of cars and track combinations like the one today, GT3s on Imola. Now, the race format is by far the coolest part of this season. We're doing a 15-minute qualifier, then a 15-minute heat, then a 15-minute second heat. And in between each one of those, we reverse grid the top 15. Now, that can make things a little bit chaotic, so you do want to remember to drive defensively. Be on the lookout because it gets crazy out there. So if you can dip, dodge, duck, and dive through everything and make your way to the top of the grid, you will be fighting for $601 every single time we race in AMX 10 this season. So there's a lot on the line. And we do it 72 times this season, so there's a lot of chances, but at the same time can be very, very challenging. Now, here's some final housekeeping measures. This is AMX 10, and so we require you to turn on your webcam or camera or phone or whatever you want to use. Join the AMX Discord, which you can find on our website, amxrace.com, and there's a link in there for you to join for our AMX 10 race. Every time you earn over $100, we do pay that out once every month, and we're racing Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So sign up on amxrace.com to come out here, join us, and fight for your part of $601 per day and for $25,000 and more this season. Okay, let's take a look at the times that you can join. I mentioned Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, but if you're in the Americas region, we are doing it Wednesday evenings and then weekends in the afternoon, starting at 12:50. And of course, this AMX race starts at 12:20. So, or 2:20. Sorry, I never learned how to read. And if you are in the European time zone, well, then you're in luck because we've got a special slide just for you. We are racing a little bit late on Thursday, but if you want to wait until the weekend evenings at 6:50 and 8:20, we are racing AMX 10 and AMX 0. So feel free to join us on the weekends or whenever you want to join. We'd be happy to have you. AMX 10, it is open to everyone over 2,000 I ratings. So we're trying to get some really, really refined competition in here. You can see a few of the cars out there already finishing their practice laps. In the meantime, let's talk about what they're racing for. We're giving away $40 for each qualifier, Heat 1 and Heat 2, with reverse grids in between for first place. And we give away prize money all the way down to 15th place, as well as $5 for fastest lap for each one of the heats. So you do not want to miss your chance at coming away with $601 a total of $601 up for grabs for all of our racers in AMX 10 this season. One note is that we also give that away for qualifying. So everything counts, every single moment. So make sure to do your best, like these guys did. It's Diogo Pinto, Kyle Gaspar, Jackson Resenge, Quarantine Ganez, and Gael Valero make up your top 5. And if you'll notice, the races raced, right? That says, okay, when you come out and race, how much are you winning each each time. You got the top 12 up there on your screen, and this is total earnings right now. But we've also kind of reformulated it to show you, okay, when they race, how much are they winning on average per race? So I'll be able to show that to you here in just a second. But for right now, this is what they have won so far, but there's a lot more than that on the line this season. We've got AMX 10 champion will receive an FG Elite from our good friends at Next Level Racing. Next Level Racing make racing and flight sim cockpits galore, some of the best in the business, so make sure to check them out and say thanks for partnering with us this season to provide our champion of AMX 10, an FG Elite, $1,299 value. If you're looking at that, if you just want a new sim rig, it doesn't get much better than that. So big thanks to Next Level Racing for hooking us up this season, and I'm curious to see who's going to win that. I got some ideas, but I'll hold those for myself. Now, if you want to join us here on AMX 10, then it costs about $10. Not exactly $10. But if you're fast enough, for this month only, we are allowing the first 10 entrants into each AMX 10 daily race to get in for free. So if you're fast enough, in keeping with this being a racing competition, then head over to amxrace.com. Sign up for free for your chance at $600 to $1 on the line every single time we go out racing for AMX 10 this season. We got about 15, 20 more times, so lots of chances for you to win. And that's going to do it for our housekeeping. That's all the announcements we have for today. So let's go ahead and get into it by breaking down what and where we are racing so far. And for that, I'm going to turn things over to my co-caster, Amir.
Thanks a lot, Reed, and hopefully my mic's working properly this time. We're at Imola, or its full glamorous name, the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, named after the founder of Ferrari SPA, and his son, also named after Ferrari Dino. It's located in Imola, just outside of close to Milan, but it's actually close to the Emilia-Romagna region. Opened in 1953, and with a length of about 4.9 kilometers, and it's really one of the best circuits in world motorsports,
with Formula 1 being there, of course, quite recently.
Indeed. Great track to kind of showcase your talents on. If you want a track to practice, you're going to see this one in almost every pro competition out there, not to mention real racing, sim racing across the board, internationally renowned. And when it comes to those international renowns, if you're looking to get out there and race, it doesn't get much more popular than the GT3 class. Some of the biggest brands and manufacturers in auto sports have contributed to some of the best cars out there, up to 600 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, 1,300 kilograms, whatever that is, and a sequential gearbox set up for one of the most iconic and powerful cars that we race out here. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight, Amir.
We have several manufacturers being represented as well. We got Ferraris, we got BMWs, we got Mercedes, and even a Lamborghini for good measure, with a couple of Audis involved as well. So that's pretty much a whole slew of cars, a smorgasbord of manufacturers involved. I can't wait for the action to begin.
Right on board with you. We also have some of the best liveries you've ever seen on GT3s. Not only the sick logo-laden pro liveries, but a few existential liveries sprinkled in there. So I can't wait to see what sort of artistry we have out there, not just on the cars, but in the cars. Some of the best drivers in the world joining us today for AMX 10, not just to compete for the prize money, but also because it really is just a grand test of skills. So as we head into qualifying for our time here on Imola, it is going to be a really exciting trip to check out what we have in store. Not only just because we have amazing racers doing amazing things, but it looks different every single time, right? There's new challenges. There's sometimes where you're just in the zone. You're in that flow state, and you hit every corner. You're faster than you've ever done before, and really exciting to see. Let's see what we have here as we get a little bit inside each other. A whole bevy of our Team Redline liveries as they rock the Ferraris out of the pits and onto the track. Try to set their qualifying times as we head into the first of 15 minutes qualifiers here in AMX 10, race 12.
Surprise, surprise, guess who's at the front of the line? It's Max Verstappen. for Team Redline in the number 8 Ferrari 296. He wants to get going in qualifying, being at the front of the line, get a lot of clear air at the front.
Yeah, it can be a lot of noise, some traffic out there. We do have quite a few racers joining us today. I'm thinking about 20, if I'm not mistaken. So quite a big field. So if you can get out there, get that rarefied air, the clear air up front. You actually don't want rarefied air. It doesn't have enough oxygen for the engine. What you want is clear air, clean air in the front, and Max has got it. So we'll see what he's able to do tonight. And we are racing GT3s, so it is important to note that in other competitions, if you're racing GT3s and there's different rules, different tracks, different formats. This is a unique situation for us here today. So we're going to reverse grid. We have kind of short race times, but qualifying is the same no matter when and where you do it. So you really do want to come out here and show us what you got, because this is a nice benchmark for you to have GT3s out here tonight. So I haven't seen any times pop up just yet as our racers are still making their way around, but getting to watch Max Verstappen on board is still a real treat, because you are going to see a lot of racing excellence here and might even learn a thing or two.
Yep. Recently crowned 3-time world champion in Formula 1, shows us a way around the circuit that he has also won twice, being the only repeat winner of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. As he comes out now to the Tamburello chicane, let's see if he's going to mount the curb. Nope, he's not going to mount it too much, just avoid the sausage curb on the inside for all 3 corners and gets up back on the power as soon as he can. But is as tidy as you like. As we look further behind, that's one of his teammates in the Team Redline cars. I think that's Gianni Vecchio, who's driving also a 296.
Yeah, we're a little bit more forgiving on those track limits there, so trying to improve our racecraft. And indeed, when he comes to racecraft, doesn't get much better than Gianni Vecchio. This guy's cashing in and out every single race. It seems doing a really incredible job this season, representing not only himself but his team very, very well. He is in the Ferrari, and I think a lot of our racers tonight are favoring the Ferrari. We do have quite a few prancing horses out there on the grid. Also quite a few BMWs, so not a stranger to the top of the tables when it comes to GT3s. Even a few, actually, I say a few, but it's 2 Mercedes, 2 Audis, yeah, and a little bit of everything. We have quite a few manufacturers represented tonight, so I just really want to see where does the top of the table lie, and it may very well lie with this man on your screen, Kieran Harrison. Now, Kieran has done some amazing things, including a photo finish in AMX 0 earlier on. He is rocking the BMW tonight, and I'm really excited to see what he has to show us. Hasn't set a lap time just yet, so he's down there at the bottom, but I'm absolutely expecting a very tight competition from this man on your screen at the front of the field when he puts a lap up.
Speaking of photo finishes, I've seen a couple of very close finishes at Imola in other sim titles. So if Harrison were to pull off another one, that would make it 3 in 3 in terms of how much he has actually put on the line on the final lap.
Now, in real life, when you're racing at Imola, it comes down, and you're racing in GT3s, it comes down to about a 140.375, which set by Nicky Thim a little bit earlier last year, the GT Challenge World Cup Europe. So that's right around where our times are going to be here, but with some hope, right, for improvement. We're at 141 up at the top with Harrison and Verstappen. 2 of the guys we've already gotten a chance to talk about, but with Gael Valero nipping at their heels in that 142 range, we really are going to see quite a range of times as we start to warm things up. In the first 5 minutes of qualifying, plenty of time left to go to get that positioning, get out of the traffic, get some clean air for yourself, and warm things up a little bit.
Let's not forget, you also want to put in that banking laps as well, in case something goes wrong in that first lap, or subsequent laps. At least they got a lap time in to beat afterwards. As Chris Lollam, no, that's not Lollam actually. That's number 20, Josh Bowen. Yeah, Bowen in the Nyan Cat livery Lamborghini. He's going off meta completely. So it'll be interesting to see how he will fare against some of the fast Ferraris.
Yeah, and they are going to be very, very fast. I always kind of do a little mental checklist. Okay, where are we at for constructors, right? It's rough, right? Because maybe you have some favorites and you just really get used to it. But some are or do seem to be doing a little bit more better competitively. So You're going to see a lot of that Ferrari at the tops. Tom Burns is working his way up the field. Chris Lullum, we got a chance to see him earlier in pole provisionally. Aaron Harrison, Max, Kyle, and Rodrigo Laskowski. We haven't seen him too often up here, but he's got some great times on the board so far. And as we ride on board with Chris Lullum, he's really shown us how to get it done. I mean, there are just hundreds between him and Harrison, Verstappen right behind, but still, as you get closer to that real-world 140 mark, you are really contesting some of the best drivers out there. So a lot to learn every single corner, and we'll see what happens as Victor Miranda goes fastest up into the 141.749.
Yep, and he's actually the best of the non-red line drivers in that Ferrari with the Tony Kanaan car up the pole position. In fact, Ariel has beaten him to that by 0.3 of a second. So it's a 1-2 for the Brazilians with Chris Lullum, the best of the red line, in third.
Yeah, and when you're talking about iRating, it doesn't get much better than Gustavo Ariel. I mention this every time, probably going to keep doing it. It's so sick. 10,901. So putting the points up there on the board, you're going to expect some great things. But keep in mind, we're reverse gridding. So the first will be last and the last first, going down to 15th. Top 15 gets swapped around. Man, you can see the iRatings there on your screen right now. 4. Count them. Black tags up there for the pro licenses with a few WCs on the board. And Gustavo Ariel and Gael Valero putting up some of the best performances iRacing has to offer. So really, really just hosting some of the best racers out there. And it's exciting to see even more and more refinement as we continue to put up some of these top lap times with about half the time left in qualifying. So plenty of time left to see these improve.
And it's quite frightening, isn't it? Especially if you're driving with one of the lowest ratings in this split. The SOF is very high, especially when you got a 3-time Formula 1 world champion in here, along with some really fast sim drivers. It's just, it's a class, it's an elite level class, isn't it? These guys going at it at the top of the field.
Speaking of, Gianni Vecchio had yet to set a time through 8 minutes and finally gets up there, hits a 141.72, pieces back out to the pit. He's going to try again, fastest lap after fastest lap, and he's dangerously close to that fastest lap time. Victor Miranda, we're on board with him, not content for third fastest and continuing to drive to improve. You thought I was going to say survive, didn't you?
Yeah, nearly wanted to say I was going to be Gunther Steiner for a second, but we're not going to see 40s at least because of the fact that the track conditions are very hot. It's almost 40, 50 degrees even on track. Air temperature is quite cool, but that's the reason why the lap times are not as fast as we are expecting, because hot temperatures mean slower lap times.
Yeah, that's a good point. You always have to be mindful of the situation, right? I mean, we were racing on Spa earlier today, and you never know what to expect when you walk through that door. So similarly here, you might not see quite as fast a lap time, given that the conditions might be somewhat inclement. So on board with Ariel, this guy is also still out there trying to set a fastest lap and continues to really have only himself to race against. A lot of yellow sectors out there for everybody else. And you can see a big smile on his face right now because he knows that he is leading the pack. That is one of the most competitive group of racers we've seen all season long. And really, if you had this exact tower in any race out there, everybody's looking at this top 3, top 5, top 10 and saying, oh my God, these guys are so good. And to be number 1 right there, that's going to put a smile on just about anybody's face. Ariel enjoying his time up there at the top.
Yeah, I'll be quite chuffed as well to see a stacked field like this, and I'm up in front. So Ariel has every right to be smiling at that one. 10.9 KI rating says it all, why he is the best of the field. But don't count your chickens just yet. We still have about 5 minutes left in qualifying after this. See if anyone can actually stop him for pole position.
I was about to start counting those chickens, Amir, so saved my life again. On board, Kieran Harrison, one of our earliest fastest times, is now good enough for 5th, but I don't think that's where he wants to finish in the final 5 minutes of qualifying. Let's see what he's able to accomplish here. One of, I believe, 2, question mark. 2.5, given that the flag is still there on Tom Burns. So there's quite a few British flags out there. He and Lulland are competing for that top 4 spot. And I believe we've seen great lap times, not only on this exact track, but in GT3's core for Harrison. So I'm excited to see what he's got for us tonight. On board now, Gianni Vecchio, one of the masters of his class here in GT3s, and specifically the Ferrari that he's got right now under his control. I'm so excited to see what this guy's going to throw down here in one of the final runs of our qualifier.
Oh, you'll have to be on pole on home soil, of course, because Imola is located smack bang in the Emilia-Romagna region in Italy. So, in a Ferrari, being Italian, we'll love to be on pole position, Reed. Oh, man, he stopped it there, though. Unfortunately, spoke too soon. Oh, my word.
Ruined. And straight back to the pits, man. Yeah, I think he just saw some yellow sectors pop up. He's like, meh, not really worth finishing. Head back, start it over again, try to get out there and set that fastest lap. So let's see what's going on. We got quite a few back in the pits. Got Tom Burns back there. Max Verstappen heading back to the pits, ready to get things back up to tip-top condition before heading out and trying to set that big, bad, fastest lap. Kyle Gaspar, whoa, big spin there by Jackson Resenge. That's not going to be a fastest lap for sure. But with a bunch of green sectors, that is good enough for a big improvement there. Kyle Gaspar starting to try to come up, and Victor Miranda in third. So it's getting harder and harder, tougher and tougher as we see some of these better and better laps be put out there. Vecchio out of the pits and into what is going to be an absolute banger of a lap, I am sure. So cannot wait to see what happens in our final 3 minutes of qualifier.
There's enough time for some drivers who are entering the pit lane prior to this to do an out lap and at least one flyer, except for Resende just now. He got his lap completely compromised by exiting Vecchio, who was just trying to get his tires up to temperature after exiting the pit lane, blocked him a bit, and that kind of stalled his qualifying. So that's the kind of danger you have to run in, especially when you have a pit lane that transitions onto the track that soon in Imola.
And Imola is a real beast of a track. So many, I don't want to say complications, because at the end of the day, there are quite a few, I guess, gentler areas. But when you get down there, turn 7, you're really going to start to see the challenge pick up, as if not all incredibly challenging. So it's something to keep an eye on as we watch, once again, our provisional pole sitter, but probably going to be in good contention for that final top spot. Ariel just hitting everything, a little bit off there, but still by far the best drive tonight. Still not quite on that 140 we were talking about, although weather not withstanding, we are still seeing better and better improvements. Kyle Gaspar comes through with a 143, 142 for Zamperlini, and those aren't going to be good enough. I don't even know if they have enough time for another lap coming through here with less than 140 left in regulation. We really do need to see some improvements from our racers who are finishing up here. And Harrison coming through, but I think he hit a yellow sector earlier, so I don't. So we are starting to wind down here. Lullum up the second, or in second, is probably pretty happy with that. I don't think he's going to really have enough time to refine. Ariel still on that provisional pole, and as we wind down to the final minute, it doesn't look like we might have any others coming through, and this might just be what our final standings look like through our qualifying session for AMX 10 tonight.
Yeah, the track evolution is not as fast as we were expecting, but again, it goes back to that argument we made earlier that the weather is not really permitting for that, shall we say, because 49 degrees track temperature is not going to help out with grip whatsoever. As you can see, grass tracking goes Gale Valero, so Valero then trying to find an extra bit of time even when he goes grass cutting.
Oh, yeah, no, we is absolutely trying for this at the buzzer. Can he beat it? 15 seconds left, and I think he might just make it through. We're going to see another one of these buzzer beaters, Amir. I don't think so. I don't actually think he's fast enough.
Highly unlikely, because he's got 4 seconds left, and he's only just exiting through the Variante Alta. Yep, that's it. Qualifying's done for him.
Okay, well, I mean, he was going for it, but valiant effort. Kyle Valier. No, it doesn't work. Either way, a really impressive qualifying from all of our racers. And let's see where the standings stand after our qualifiers here, as we get to check out the beautiful countryside. I think Marco's out there somewhere in the distance. Let's see what the standings look like. Gustavo Ariel, Chris Lullum, and Gianni Vecchio round out your top 3. Victor Miranda, Kieran Harrison, and Max Verstappen, your top 6 in qualifiers. Max Verstappen, of course, not playing for Team Reedline, although as somebody with that name, I approve. Quarantine Guinness there in 7th, right below him, representing Sim RC, along with Karen Harrison. So a lot of teammates up there in top. Also, Texaco Racing by Tony Kanaan being very well represented on our team lineups. The 15th spot cut off there at the bottom for the reverse grid will go to Pedro Oliveira. Gaston Calavi and Josh Perwin will be swapped up into the top 3 for the provisional podium spots coming into heat number 1, and that is going to be a very coveted role, but with a very difficult time defending against, once again, some of the best racers in the world.
Yep, and well, for Perwin's case, I know that he has the driving qualities to make it so, to defend as hard as he could, but again, the I rating involved with some of the guys behind him is just going to be hard work for him. So, grid, we have a Brazilian and an Argentine on the front row with Pedro Oliveira and Gaston Gulhavi in first and second. Josh Perwin third in front of Fabio Zampolini, so Australian in the mix in there with Jackson Resende in 5th, Tom Burns in 6th, Kyle Gaspar 7th, Guy Valero 8th after going grass trucking towards the end of the session. He's up in P8, 9th Quarantine Gines, and 10th Max Verstappen, who will be the first of the red line guys, and in the best position possible, I should say, to make the best start here at the front, Reed.
That's a great way to put it, Amir. He does start in P10, and of course, we do have quite a few racers with us tonight, so the field goes down all the way to 25th, although I don't believe we are gridding absolutely everyone out there. So let's see what our rolling start is like as we get started for our first of not enough laps. Never enough. I could watch this go on into eternity. If this were the race that never ends, I would be happy for the rest of my life, Amir. We've got great cars, liveries, tracks, drivers, everything and all of the above going swimmingly here tonight. I can't wait to get things started.
Yep, we got a green flag wave here, so we are underway. Oliveira gets the jump on Gulhavi. Green flag wave quite early, and he was on the button coming up to the start-finish line through the Variante Bassa. What's left of it anyway. It should be a chicane. Now it's just a king. Onto the start-finish straight they go. It's 3 wide, 4 wide even in certain places coming up to Champion for the first time. And it looks as though Oliveira has managed to jump ahead of Gulhavi with Josh Perwin still in third, Reed.
Oh, a little bit of wiggling from some of those red line liveries in the middle of the pack as the climb continues. On board with Verstappen is caught in the thick of it. Dead middle of the pack in 9th there, so very, very careful racing is required. Up at the front, we've got Oliveira and Calavi Perwin pulling away, but it's still incredibly, incredibly close. All of our racers, for the most part, still on the track, so we're keeping it clean through our first lap of 8 here at Imola. It's going to be an exciting start, but also a dangerous one as we come through one of the sharper curves there. We see Miranda dropping down. Zampolini actually dropping down even more as Lullum passes him. So many places being swapped here as we begin, but already you see Lullum, Miranda climbing up and starting their drive towards the top 5.
Oh, Zampolini's dropping like a stone after being overtaken by Verstappen coming out to Piratella. Now he's going to be swamped by the rest of the field. He gets pushed out wide through the Variante Alta, and the rest of the field are just going to swallow him up completely.
We say wheel to wheel, but this time we mean it. Hand-to-hand combat and a lot of dents going down. We're not even through our first lap here, Amir. So much action there, and you really do see some of the merging of the cars here as we really do fight it out in the cage. So many spots as Calavi looks like he might be dropping out or maybe just having some connection issues there. The top of the field still owned by him if he decides to keep connecting, but for Perwin, Burns, they are leading the pack for now, although Burns climbing up there is still making his way towards the top.
Pretty sure it was Oliveira in first place when we last saw it, so
right.
Not sure what happened to Oliveira. Yeah, Oliveira is actually dropped off. Gulhavi's taking the lead a bit. Burns in second, Perwin still third somehow out of all of that, as we are watching Gaspar trying to fend off Resende with the Brazilian on Brazilian battle, bringing a Frenchman into play. Verstappen goes onto the inside! Verstappen goes for Entosa. What a move there from the Dutchman.
Big move. Verstappen, but he can't hold on. He's down back, but might still have it. He's going for it again, but can't make it stick. So Verstappen got a feel, a taste of the top 5. Miranda takes it back.
Looks like a poor qualifying may not be such a bad thing after all, because he did start closer to the top 5 as he was qualifying when he was in P6. But he's looking really punchy right now. Miranda really had his hands full there, as up in front, those guys are trying to make a beeline for it. They know the fact that who's coming right now is very close.
And coming forward again is Max Verstappen, back behind Miranda, who is defending for his life. 20 hundredths of a second behind, and that is all that's separating as they go wheel to wheel. Verstappen up into the top 5.
Oh, that was a textbook move coming into the first reversal. Miranda then, I think he didn't want to defend too hard because he knows full well if he went too narrow, he's going to slide off into the gravel. Now he's trying to actually get some clean air, but he's letting a couple other guys behind, including Gines. But Verstappen, though, is a man on a mission. Top 5 in his sights. Next up for him is Kyle Gaspar, just 9/10 of a second in front.
We did have Oliveira pop back up to the top there, so in case that looks weird, we're going to adjust the places by 1. So still fighting for what that looks like, but Miranda dropping out there. It's a big spin.
Oh, that was just touching the AstroTurf on the outside, coming out of Tamburello, causing that particular instance, as a bit of dust was being kicked up because Oliveira's connection issues still persisting here, but somehow he's still up in front of Burns, Kulhavi, and Perwin in 4th.
My God, just look at some of the greatest racers out there struggling because the field is so difficult, so competitive. You've got Gael Valero, got flipped back down, and he's actually fallen by 4 spots so far. Gustavo Ariel, one of the best racers here, though, is having the opposite effect. He has climbed 7 spots and still has his eyes laser set on the lead. But he has a very difficult field in front of him. A second ahead is Inez. Verstappen also there in 6th. He's got a mighty move to make on Caio Gaspar in front. We hop on board with both Ariel and Gaspar back and forth. We're trying to check out what is still a middle of the field, actually the entire field, the top 10, separated by less than a second.
Yeah, what happened to Miranda at the start of this lap? Looks as though he got tapped. In fact, Gines tapped him around, so that's going to be a bit of afters in the steward's room. But on board now with Josh Bowen, he's got Caio Gaspar right behind him, and behind that particular BMW Mercedes is Max Verstappen, so he's actually not as close as he was in the previous lap to overtake. As Gaspar lines one up coming to Tamburello, no way through. Perwin holds firm.
Can't make it happen just yet, but Josh Perwin, man, this is a guy that has had previously in Season 2 of AMX Global League some of the best finishes out of any of our competitors. Lullum now dropping. That's pretty surprising to see him down where he started in 14th. But back to what I was saying, it's going to be a defensive drive of his life there for Perwin. His rearview mirror is full of, and there it is. That's what I was talking about. Around the inside, it's Gaspar, and now Perwin dropping back as Verstappen climbs back up into the top 5.
And I jinxed it there. Reed, you were about to say he needs to pull out a defensive move. And just as you said it, on cue, Gaspar pries the door open coming to Tosa, and he says, "Thank you very much. I'll have plenty of that." But now he's going to have to do the exact same thing with a fast-charging Max Verstappen as we come through the halfway point of this race.
That's right. Now, I really hope we get to see some cams up here because you got to know these faces are looking serious. Super serious. As Max Verstappen now on board with him as he looks to find his way around Caio Gaspar. One of absolutely the greats there, representing Tony Kanaan Racing, of course, trying to defend against Verstappen, who can't do it enough. Comes right around the outside, smooth as you like, up into the top 4.
Wow, the exit coming out of Variante Alta was the one that made that particular move. Verstappen making overtakes look easy here at Imola when some of the drivers have actually come a cropper. Now we go back up to the front as Verstappen's teammate Tommy Burns on the back of Oliveira. Oliveira then has to actually go really defensive here to prevent an onslaught of Ferraris coming at him. Done a good job so far using the power of the Lamborghini just inch ahead of the Ferrari coming to Tamburello.
That's right, it's an all-animal. We got the zoo up front and on board with Pedro Oliveira. He is absolutely driving for his life right now. The seriousness on his face reflected in his racing prowess, trying to keep things tight as he can, but man, closing the distance. Tom Burns. I was talking about this guy just moments ago, and you can really see him looking for the driver of his life, like I said. So we'll see if he can hold on to that when we check out battle for sixth in picture-in-picture there for just a second, because it is absolutely as hot as it gets all across the field. Quarantine Guinness, we saw in that picture fighting for that coveted 7th place spot.
Verstappen gets through up to P3 from Kulhavi. So Kulhavi got a very poor exit coming out of Tosa. That's Verstappen through, and now he's onto the podium with two Ferraris, two red line Ferraris up in second and third. That's very close then from Burns. Nearly loses it coming out of Rivera at the altar. That was full commitment, and Oliveira might have been watching in horror there if he was going to get collected.
Yeah, man, just going skating a little bit out there on the ice rink. It's hard to keep it together when you're trying to go for such an aggressive move. Tom Burns is a killer. He's got his eyes set, laser focused on the lead. Oliveira is still doing a great job, though. He is keeping it clean and absolutely doing his best to continue to set some of the fastest laps we've seen all race long. But time is running out here. We are 6 out of 8 laps through our time on Imola tonight, and Tom Burns is still absolutely coming. Check out some of those lap times being put up there. Still room for improvement, though, as we did see those 141s popping up. And obviously, you're going to have to slow things down a little bit before racing with other drivers. But the goal, the dream, is still out there and alive. For guys like Tom Burns, you can continue to see marauding the backside of Pedro Oliveira.
See that Verstappen was faster that time around, coming up to sector 5 by more than 0.2 of a second. So he's reeling them in because they're both starting to battle quite hard. And if they battle even harder, they're going to let Verstappen come through at the rate of knots. So 3 laps to go then. Anything can still happen here with Burns now hounding the back of Oliveira as they come up to the Aqua Minerale.
He's really trying to fake him out, inside, outside. Where's he going to go? Very defensive driving, if that's what you want to call it, from Oliveira. But Burns is looking so hard. He's got his telescope out. He's got the night vision goggles flipped out. Can he see a way past the way, I don't know, kids see why they like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or something? I don't know. Oliveira still driving for his life. Verstappen closing the distance, though. Came past Kulhavi. He's now 1.4 seconds back, and with a second left to drive, he really has the chance now 8 tenths. He is climbing tenths every corner.
Oliveira is slowing everybody up here. He's the cork in the bottle, and Burns might just be feeling a bit frustrated because he knows full well that he could try to get him through the corners, but again, on the straight, Lamborghini has the legs on the Ferrari, and Oliveira using all those 600 horses in that Lamborghini to just edge ahead once again.
Yeah, and look at that, the times coming through. The only time in the top 10 under 142 is Max Verstappen, who is still closing in on his teammate, Thomas Burns. Or is Burns Verstappen's teammate? I don't know how that order goes. Either way, it's about to change up if Burns can't put the pedal to the metal. He is still trying to fight for that lead while he keeps checking that rearview mirror. But let's see if he might have to stop that and look forward more as he comes around the corner on the inside. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. He is absolutely going for it right now, but he cannot overtake the raging bull of Pedro Oliveira's Lamborghini. Whoa!
And there we go! Burns touches the side of Oliveira coming to Piratella, and Verstappen goes through to take the lead. He just said, thank you very much. Those two guys touched, and he will now try to conserve this lead all the way to the end. What a battle, but unfortunately, it had to end so acrimoniously.
Now, bye-bye. That is how the cookie crumbles, and what a way to go. 7 laps through 8, and it does not go very well there. Burns out again. A little bit of deja vu from earlier on today, but in this case, Max Verstappen still gets to keep racing, so an improvement, I might say. The interval, the top spot, the lead, the pole position. Max Verstappen up there, but Oliveira did slow down after that contact and is still solidly in second. Flavi solidly in third, and the race for this top 5 is absolutely insane. As we get a chance to look at what happened there, yeah, just turning in on him around the corner a little bit. Thomas Burns and Oliveira crash out And that gives Max Verstappen a solid lead as we hop on board with Kyle Gaspar, who is trying desperately to break in that intense battle for the top 3.
I think Burns should have been a bit more circumspect, knowing for a fact that Oliveira was just struggling a bit, especially on the exit. He had the power on the Ferrari, but he had the cornering ability, so he could have waited at least another corner. Oh, that's a collision there! There goes Ginez's front bumper, but somehow he still cut it back on. Owen goes through. It's all kicking off here in the final lap, Reed.
A big save there, and he hits him again! A little bit of a bump there at the backside, and this is some hand-to-hand combat in the back. It is so dangerous here. Ariel gets passed up there as Ginez goes forth, and now the battle for that top 5 spot heats up even more. We are cooking through our final lap here tonight in heat number 1. And don't forget, we got another one. We're doing it again right after. So let's see how things will finish out. Where are the final cars going to align? It is a 2-second gap between Verstappen, Oliveira, Calabi, but who will join them in that top 5? We're on board with Josh Perwin, who did a great defensive drive earlier and finds himself once again back in that 6th place spot. Can he go faster? He's climbing so much. Oh my God, what a push. Look at that, overtaking Ariel easy as you please into the 5th. We are about to wave the checkered flag as Max Verstappen roars through into a 1st place finish any second now, and there it is. Oliveira coming through 2.5 seconds behind. Calabi will be your top 3, the final podium sitter there. Ginez cannot finish the overtake, and a whole host of the rest of our top 10 racers coming through for the final time on what is an amazing finish to our first heat here on Imola.
That makes it 3 wins at Imola for Max Verstappen, 1 virtually, of course, the other 2 being actual Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix wins. But what a way to do it for Verstappen. He bided his time, waited for the right opportunities to overtake, and just hangs back a bit when the top 2 fought it out and unfortunately came a cropper. That, I would say, is why he is a 3-time world champion, Reed.
What a way to finish, what a race. This is the final results for, or these are the final results for heat number 1, and we're going to take a look at them before moving on to our final heat of the night here in AMX 10. So let's see where things finished out. The number 8 car, Max Verstappen, in number 1. Pedro Oliveira and Gaston Calabi round out your top 3 with Corentin Ginez and Josh Perwin there in the top 5. Some really big moves there towards the end. That final crash really changing the way that top 5 would look, with Ariel down in 6th, not where I expected to see him at all. And of course, Tom Burns nowhere to be seen, headed all the way back out down to the bottom of field. And that is going to be a really difficult start for him if he wants to make some sort of recovery drive happen in the future. But overall, man, what a way to end our first heat of AMX 10 tonight.
Yep, there's plenty more that came from. Another 8 laps of frenetic action here in Heat 2.
Rev of the engines starting as we begin our second heat of the night. It will be a rolling start as we get through into what can only be described as a desperate attempt to live up to all of the action we saw in our first heat of the night. Can it do it? I am a big believer. If you didn't catch our previous race, we raced AMX 0 before that, and this is supposed to be even better, but it was such a banger. I was like, how are we going to improve? What are we going to do to top what was an incredible first race tonight? And I think we're well on our way, Amir.
Absolutely, and the fact that fast guys are way at the back, especially Verstappen in P15, is going to have his work cut out. Gustavo Ariel and Kieran Harrison up in front, so they're at exactly where Max was in race number 1, so they're probably going to make hay while the sun shine there as the drivers aggressively warm up their tires. Green flag, Reed.
Green flag, we are go for our time in the pits.
Oh, Verstappen's off into the pits. That's a surprise.
That's not the right way. You're supposed to be the other way. Maybe the tracks were turned in the wrong direction there. I'm not sure where that's going, but in the end, that's the way it starts. Boas, Valero, Ramos, Blanco, Lolum, your top 5. Let's see what it looks like as I think it's Valero tumbling down. Zamperlini drops a spot. Everything changing up as you see much faster start. And in fact, a very slow one. A big spin in the back To start things off, we're on board with Ariel, who is on a Charger. A top 5 start for him, and a very, very good start to the race for quite a few of our bottom-placing drivers. Oliveira climbing up, Galavi Ganez trying to make their way up, as well as we're on board with Lullum, a guy that we've seen win races before, trying to do it again, climbing at a rocket's pace through the top 5 into 3 if he can make his way past Blanco.
And one of the big casualties there was Josh Bowen, so he got taken out, probably a bit of a touch, or he touched the grass. Whatever it is, he's out of the reckoning for this one, as Ariel, Lullum, and Blanco following suit here up in front. So the Red Line boys are up to 1st and 7th. With, sorry, well, not 7th because Harrison is actually part of MRC, but Lullum being the first of the Red Line guys in 3rd, as major collision at the very end of the Alta Reed.
Oh, that's going to do it for Centro de las Boas. Actually, no, he's fine, but I'm just trying to find a way to describe Gaston Kalani. His unceremonious exit here. Low Faro, man, the struggle is real. And he will be out of there now. What a way to start. We're not even through our first lap yet, Amir.
Now we're definitely into our 2nd lap here, so Villas Boas and Ramos up in front. Brazilian and Iberian first and 2nd. Lullum is looking really racy here, coming into Tamburello for the 2nd time. Does he make it through? No. Ariel follows suit as well, so 2 of the highest rated I-rating guys are in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. That top, we expected to see, and we'll get a quick replay of Gaston Calavi crashing out. Yeah, going to horizontal is really going to clog the choke point there in the back. So, oh man, pointing backwards and backwards he will go. Standings. Up back on board with Chris Lullum as he is going nowhere but forward. Another big spin towards the back. Who are we looking at? Kyle Gaspar? Really? Wow, what a surprise there. I was expecting him to be contesting the best of them. Contesting the best. But not happening this race. He's out of there. Back with Gael Ariel. Ariel up in the top 3, but he's got his work cut out for him with Lullum on a Charger trying to overtake Andres Boas, consistently staying in that top spot.
It'll be interesting to see the Ferrari versus BMW battle, because we saw now how Lamborghini and Ferrari, Lamborghini was much faster on the straight. BMWs should be good around the corners, but how is it on the straights? It looks as though it's a bit of a dart compared to the Ferrari. Again, the Ferrari does have the legs on the BMW on the straights, but through the corners, that's where it makes up most of its time.
Yeah, absolutely. A big move there by Lullum. I think he's going for it around the outside. Can he make it happen? Absolutely charging back, but on the outside of the curve. I think he's still got him. Look at the moves. He is pedal to the metal. The fastest lap goes his way, as I think he might persist too wide for the rest of time. Not enough time, though, for Boas as he falls back, gives it to Lullum, and will bide his time before trying to take back what was a monster move. Chris Lullum in the lead.
Wow-wee. And BMW Ferrari were quite evenly matched there. Yes, the BMW had a bit of a legs up on the Ferrari, but the Ferrari once again proving why is the best car around Imola. Lullum making full use of that, taking the lead. Ariel goes through to P2. Now it's going to be a straight fight between the highest I-rating drivers in the server.
Yeah, absolutely. The black bars up there at the top, and I am here for it. Lullum, Ariel, Boas, Harrison, Blanco, your top 5 with Gael Valero on a move to try to get in there. He's only 2/10 back for now. Let's check out the onboard for Rafael Blanco. He is absolutely doing his best here to hold on to top 5, and I honestly think it is a hold move right here rather than trying to move. Obviously, you're going as fast as you can. So let's see what he can do with it on board now with Rafael Blanco. Get a chance to see what his rig looks like, and his focus there still incredibly, incredibly tense as we near really sort of the make or break part of our race. We're right in the middle as we decide whether or not you get to make it these final laps, right? That's where the tension is. You got to make it there, and this is where we find out if you do. Rafael Blanco doing a great job on his defense there, but I think Valero is still gaining. So if he doesn't stop that somehow, it is just going to go from bad to worse. And I think worse is about to happen right now, Amir. Gael Valero, pedal to the metal, moving in around the outside, going for it. Valero up into 5th.
Yeah, BMW versus Mercedes that time around. The Mercedes look at the crunch that V8 was producing on the straight. Valero was passing as if Blanco was standing still, and Blanco has even more problems here because he got a bit squirrely on the exit. Resende is about to pieces.
Oh my god, it just continues. The fire getting hotter, blue flames everywhere. Aaron Harrison right now lighting it up, going up third as he passes Sandro Villas-Boas. So that is a hard move to make, and he does it, and he makes it look easy. Now,
Quite
we get a
lit.
chance to
That was
maybe
quite lit, wasn't it?
quite the fire emoji. Throw 'em in chat. That's the only possible way I can think of to describe the greatness we just saw on our screen. So Boa's dropping back, but let's see how much back he is going to drop, because Gael Valero charging through guys like Resenge, like Blanco, into that top 5 means that this is where the battle will be for the next few corners, and I think it's going to go to Valero. He was making up quite a bit of time in order to get those passes through. So let's check out what things look like towards the back of the pack on board now with Gianni Vecchio, one of the leaders, the winners of previous heats. He's trying to do it again, but he's down in 9th and has quite the distance to make up. He's defending against Dornella, but I think Dornella might be dropping, reading his times correctly. And with Pedro Oliveira ahead of him, he's got his work cut out for him.
Vecchio overtook Dornella coming into the Variante Alta, so that's where Dornella lost a bit of time, and he's going to lose even more so because he's actually lost a bit of the draft there. So Eliseu might be next one lining up to make a maneuver. As out of the pits comes a few other drivers, including, it looks as though Ramos. Oh, that's very tight. You do not want to come out in the middle of heavy traffic, and that's exactly what's happened to Ramos. He's going to get swamped.
Yeah, Ramos just nowhere to go there. I mean, what are your options? It's a tense moment. You've got nanoseconds to make it, and yeah, sometimes there's not a lot of options at your disposal there. So we're not on board with Blanco as he is in 7th, trying to defend against guys like Oliveira, Vecchio behind him, Resenge, and this man on your screen right now, Gael Valero. He climbed his way, fought tooth and nail for 5th, and now he's trying to make it one better, closing in on Sandro Villas-Boas. So let's see if he can make this move happen. He's absolutely sharking for it. Narrow part of the track right now, so probably can't make it happen just yet. But this corner through, and I think it might be about time.
Yep, coming out of Aqua Minerali, that's a good run there, but through the Variante Alta, you can't get 2 cars through. It's going to be quite tight for Valero on the inside of Villas-Boas. He does make it stay heavy on the brakes. Yep, really heavy and late on the brakes.
Right, and that's a great thing to talk about. Early and late, not a good combination if you want to keep your spot. Gael Valero waited until the final nanosecond. They hit that brakes, head around the corner, keep it on track, and he does into 4th.
Really moved there, but credit to Villas-Boas as well. He gave plenty of racing room, and he played a game of chicken there with Valero, but Valero took it and manages to snatch away 4th place in the process.
There's a name on our board we haven't seen for a while. Watch this move by Oliveira. I think he's going for it. I think he has Blanco here. Yeah, I think he just reached into the cookie jar and took his lunch money. You want to mix some metaphors there. There's a name on the board we haven't seen for a while, and that's Max Verstappen moving up, and he's actually making up a bunch of time if you watch that time here. So I actually think that a top 15 drive is not out of the running here if he wants to make up 40 seconds. I believe, but that's your outlier stat for the race. And a race that incredible happen, we're going to find out in the next 2 laps. But let's keep an eye on what we have happening here in the top 5. Sandro Villas-Boas now defending against a charging Jackson Revenge, if you want to put it that way, trying to break in to what is about the most tightly locked safe there exists. It's going to take more than a lawyer to lockpick that as Resenge tries his way. And I think he's closing. Oh, actually, no. Boas with a big, great move around the corner. Keeps his place and holds on for what might just be long enough. We're running out of time in our final 2 laps, Amir.
Yep, as we're looking for the bike. Oh, Vecchio! And Blanco going through. Blanco is facing the wrong way. Hopefully he's not going to spin the traffic. Nope, goes on the brakes, and I think he's just going to call it there, Breed.
He really will. Even Vecchio now dropping back. Keeps it together, pointed the right way, but the damage is done, and it's going to be even more difficult than it already was for him to climb any farther up in the standing.
And Vecchio is going to drive the rest of the way with a compromised car. That's not going to help him in his cause. as we look at battle here between 5th, 6th, and 7th. Oliveira rounding the rear of this particular one, Resende in the middle, and Villas-Boas up in front. So that's the sandwich that you were talking about earlier, aka the mortadella sandwich for Brazilians.
Indeed it is. Vecchio really interrupting what is a very green middle of the pack. We're reforesting in the mid-grid. And let's take a look at that Vecchio crash earlier. Pinches him on the inside, and there it is, a spin and not a win. The Vecchio does go through. It is not the way he wanted to go.
Unfortunately, that's caught on camera as well, so probably some inquiries afterwards, as now got caught in 4K completely, literally as well, as if some of you guys also streaming in 4K. But yeah, Villas-Boas has been defending all race, and amazingly still in that top 5. But he still has to defend even harder now, knowing the fact that his fellow countrymen are right behind him.
Indeed they are. Jackson Resende on board with him. He's got Boas ahead, and that is the top of the standings when it comes to the green flags out there, with the exception of Ariel, who's in second. Up there way at the top. We'll top on board with Jackson Resende as we see what he can do. Currently the gatekeeper to that top 5. Although the gates are under attack by Boas, Oliveira, and Vecchio right before.
Yeah, he actually overtook Villas-Boas coming to the Variante Alta, so he literally just tried the door open easily, because again, Villas-Boas just left the door open too easily to let someone through, and now he's going to be under the advances of Pedro Oliveira.
The white flag is out. We are waving it as our final cars come through for the final lap of this race. Heat number 2 is here and now, and it's about to be over. You better get it while you can. Really limited resources. These are non-renewable. You got to get it while you can. It's the last final moments of our time here at Imola. Let's see what Oliveira can do. He's had a great drive, both Heat 1 and Heat 2, and he's trying to do it again. Let's see what Boas looks like. Vecchio, Oliveira. This midfield is going to be competitive down to the wire, Amir.
Yep, and falling off the oil a bit was Villas-Boas. He really got his lock pick there. As around the outside goes Vecchio, trying to go over and under against Oliveira, but Oliveira was really up to it.
Vecchio is on a burner. 17 places made up. I had no idea this was even possible, but if anybody can do it, it is the sole Italian representative here tonight in flags, as far as that's concerned. Let's see what happens as he closes in on Oliveira. Nose to tail, and looking to move around the outside. He's got the draft, but he doesn't have the time. We're almost done here, about halfway through our final lap, and he's got the movement through the chicane. He almost has it, but didn't quite hit the angle he wanted, so drops a little bit back for now.
Yep, but he only has one final chance coming up for Ribata as Lolum goes up to the start-finish line to take it. Oh, that's a big hit! Vecchio a bit over-committed through it and into the gravel. He goes. That's it, that's his race gone.
Vecchio, moments, seconds, just millimeters from the finish line, and Vecchio goes out. And he'll finish right next to Max at the bottom. What? How do you even call that? Just push it. Oh my God, what a way to finish. You could not predict absolutely any of this. As we finish out the lineup, it is a it's a beautiful scenic photo finish for Lolum, as he has so much distance between him. Likewise, Ariel, Harrison, Valero, and Resende, your top 5. But that middle of the pack, so crazy that it even ate up one of our best competitors there. And kind of sad to see Gianni Vecchio drop down there and out of the final lap in number 2. What a way to end our day.
Yep. And we're still just on the midst of finishing up as Verstappen then going for fastest lap of the race, and he does have it. He's the only one in the 41s as he comes across the line. Still holds that fastest lap at the end of the race.
You love to see it, and really it is truly a privilege to watch what was a great drive in lap 2, a nice spin to finish, or heat 1, nice spin to finish heat 2, and really just non-stop action the entire way around as we finish off our standings and our time here on Imola. What a way to do it! What a way to go and cruise! What kind of racing? Couldn't have said it better, Amir. What do you have to say about these standings?
Well, it's kind of like the story of the race where the fast guys came up to the fore, and for Chris Lolum, Gustavo Ariel, and Kieran Harrison, they showed their class when others have faltered along the wayside. So really then, it's a well-deserved podium for all three.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Really, really impressive how closely the top 5 was contested the entire race long. Even top 10 down there. The 7th, 10th, you absolutely could not predict that going into the final lap. But on your screen, it's Chris Lolum. Big win for Team Redline up at the top. And really, 3 of our best teams represented, 4 of our best teams at the top. Redline, Texaco Racing by Tony Kanan, SimRC, and Apex Racing Team. The top 4. As we scroll down, the prize money goes down to 15th. We did see Fabio Zamperlini narrowly make his way into that. Flavian Perween right above him. As we close down there, we did have those fastest laps be attempted by guys like Max Verstappen, and right next to his unfortunately crushed teammate Gianni Vecchio, together with Gerardo Ramos and a whole host of also-rans. Tom Burns also with an amazing race until it was unceremoniously executed there at the end, along with Quarantine Guinness, who also had similar issues facing him. So, man, what could have been, Amir? We were so close to seeing 3, 4, 5 drivers easily up there in the top 10, and unfortunately couldn't hold it together there until the final moments. But what a way to finish our time in GT3s on Imola.
Yep, it's a car and track combo that has absolutely delivered some of the best racing I think we've seen so far this entire weekend. And the cherry on top of the cake, we saw Verstappen winning at Emilia-Romagna once again. So really then, I cannot have at best asked for a better way to end off the weekend.
Totally agree. This is the end of our weekend here and your weekend out there. We hope you enjoyed your time, whether it was in your sim rig or in your chair watching some of the great action here tonight. And in truth, I would say, Amir, that it doesn't get better than this, but we got like 50 races left to go this season. So, and if you split those 50 races into its 3 component parts, each race has a qualifier, Heat 1 and Heat 2, then it's like 50 times 3 races. So 150 chunks of awesomeness left to go so far. So it looks like we are setting up for our first few interviews, and might even get a chance to talk to our final Heat winner, Chris Lolum. So we are ready to go with that. I think we might go ahead and roll into it. So getting ready for interviews, and we'll get a chance to talk to some of our racers and let you guys hear from some of them. We have that coming up next. All right, going ahead and welcoming to the show, Chris Lolum. Not your first time here at AMX, but what did you think of the races today?
Yeah, I mean, it was fairly chaotic. The start of the second race is sort of what put me in the position to win the main second race. But yeah, I was under a lot of pressure from Gustavo at the beginning. First 6-7 laps, only with a couple laps to go, I think he got a slowdown, but it was pretty tight hot lapping until right up to the end there. But yeah, race 1 didn't go my way, but I'm happy with race 2.
Yeah, I mean, reverse grid is a little bit crazy, and there aren't a lot of tournaments that run it. So we're trying to keep it like fun and competitive, but that also introduces that element of chaos. So what were your thoughts, race 2, race 1, navigating things flipping around? How do you decide whether or not you're trying to drive defensively and just stay alive, or get into the position that you got put into in race 2?
Yeah, the format makes it very much dependent on the way you manage yourself in traffic, slower cars around you, faster cars around you, So race 1 obviously didn't go my way, and then race 2, get a good jump at the start, have clean passes over to the lead, and then it goes your way. It can very easily swing with 4 against you with this kind of format.
All right, now tonight we were driving GT3s on Imola. I'm guessing it's probably not your first time in that car or that track, but how do you think that fits together? Are there any tips for aspiring drivers, or did you have some difficulties with that combo tonight?
Well, no, obviously I know the car and the track very well, but I hadn't driven this specific combo before. But with Imola, the main thing often ends up being, the way you can handle the curbs. You've got sausage curbs, turn 1, turn 3, and the chicane, the last corner. Everything's about nailing the bouncing, and the way the car bounces off every curve is where you gain the lap time, really.
Yeah, we really did see a lot of those gains. I feel like you really dodged a few bullets tonight with several of your teammates just being so close to making it up there to the top 3, top 5, and got taken out by some shooters. But were you driving specifically defensively to stop that from happening, or did you just get a little bit lucky there at the end?
In the second race, I definitely got lucky at the start. I think the left line didn't go off so well, but no, the first race I didn't have anything specific in mind. I mean, it's just the way the cookie crumbled, really.
Yep.
So I think Max got quite lucky with Tom's incident.
Yeah.
In the middle of the lap, I saw something happen there. He almost rejoined into me, and then Max took the win in race 1. But no, there was nothing planned.
Well, yeah, congratulations. That last race was pretty nice. Before we go, do you have any shout-outs or final comments before we finish up?
Well, yeah, of course. Can thank Jani for hosting, our Team Redline streams alongside it. AMX, these things are always fun to do for us. Evenings after we had other various competitions this weekend, we can show up a little bit of practice before the qualifying, and we all have a lot of fun, so that's the main thing.
Well, it's good to have you and the guys out here, and we're glad you guys had a lot of fun. Hope to see you back here again soon, and good luck in the rest of your races.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into interview number 2. I am joined for the first time by Gustavo Ariel. Now, you have just recently joined these AMX races in the last few. So what is it like to race in AMX? Crazy reverse grids and cars and tracks that we have here.
Well, it's a pleasure to participate because all my teammates participate here in since maybe season 1 or 2. So yeah, to be here driving with against these amazing drivers is a pleasure. I managed to do very good races today and to always drive in the top 5. So it's my main goal for 2 inverted grids, driving always in the top 5. Today I did a very good lap at Imola with no draft, preparing the tires and doing pole against these other drivers it's very good. I was very happy with my lap. And race 1 I gained like almost 10 positions. On the last lap I have a problem with some other drivers, and unfortunately I crash and I lose 3 positions at the end. But yeah, P6 and P2, it's very good to do my official debut here, and I'm glad to participate against these other drivers with my teammates. And yeah, both races on GT4 and GT3 are very fun. The track of the GT4, it's new for me, so it was very, very fun to drive on this layout of Sebring. So yeah, I'm glad to be here again and to have the opportunity to fight against the best drivers in the world.
Well, we're glad to have you, and I gotta ask, most of the competitors tonight had 4 digits in their iRating. How do you get up to almost 11,000 iRating? What's your secret?
Well, of course, when you have more than 8-9K rating, it's very difficult to gain more. So you need to know what races you can do to finish on the top 3 mainly. So yeah, it was very good. It was very long, the process, and it's very good to be here on the 10.9. I'm currently number 1 on the stats, so yeah, that's another dream come true for me. and to drive all in the World Championship this year was another thing that I achieved, and we won 3 races in the rookie year. So yeah, this year it's been very good to me. Maybe I reach all of my objectives, personal objectives, one on the World Championship, be the top one in iRating, and to fight these other drivers, and we're still learning. So yeah, I think the main secret is to select some categories that you like and maybe do races that only you feel comfortable on this level. So yeah, if I finish second in some races now, I lose a rating, so I need to choose what races I can do to not lose like 200, and if I won the race I gain like 10 or 5. So yeah, it's a tricky process, and I'm glad to put Brazil in the number 1 of the ranking. And I know for some people this don't mean nothing, but for me it's one of the best things you can achieve in a racing. So yeah, I'm happy to put Texaco, to put Tony and all the sponsorships there on the top. So yeah, I'm happy. I want to say a big thank you again to Texaco Racing by Tony Kanam, Toyota Gazoo Racing Brasil, HB, Logitech, and my family for all the support, my girlfriend. So yeah, let's fight to another possibilities to race here and see if we can have time to participate again.
Well, you're having a great year so far, Gustavo, and I wonder we have to move on, but before we go, do you have any message for your Portuguese language speaking fans out there?
Well, I will speak a bit in Portuguese. Galera, obrigado quem assistiu aí. Foi sensacional correr com esses caras aí. Tô feliz demais em conseguir vencer fazer a pole e chegar bem nas corridas. Então, um abraço para todo mundo aí, continue acompanhando e torcendo. Vamos representar o Brasil da melhor forma possível. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. You're having a great year. We hope it keeps getting better. It was great to have you here today, and we hope to see you again here soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we're done with our interviews. Amir, did you gain any nuggets of wisdom from listening to our pros today?
Yeah, pretty much, especially given the fact that if I want to do some iRacing online official races, I will have to be a bit more choosy with what I do, because those guys, you can hear that they're actually very particular in what they do so that they could get most out of it, because they know they want to go into a race, they have at least a half chance of winning rather than being a grid filler. So that is some really great insight to how these guys work.
Yeah, it is really crazy when you're up there and if you drop one more spot, you're doing the math in your head. You're like, okay, if I finish outside the top 10, I'm losing like hundreds of iRating here. When you're just that good, you're like, oh, wow, another first. Time to hit that +5. It really is crazy. So it's really great to hear from some of the best sim racers out there. And it's not even like they're that far away from the rest of the grid in tournaments like AMX 10. We are really running at the very top level. So we had some amazing races tonight, AMX 0, AMX 10, and we really hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. And we hope that we see you back here again. So make sure to follow, like, subscribe, whatever you got to do on Twitch and YouTube to make sure to remember to come back. We're doing it all over again next week. If you want to keep up with the schedule, make sure to follow us on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram. You can see the links right down there below your screen. If you'd like to join and be a part of the remaining 50 races left in AMX Season 3, you can do that by heading on over to our website at amxrace.com. There you can sign up for free for AMX 0, and if you're fast, you can get in for free into AMX 10, $600 on the line every time we go out and race there. We've got a lot of exciting cars and tracks coming up, so the action is just going to get even more exciting. We want to see you there with us. So make sure to join the AMX Discord server. You can see the link right there. Just search AMX Global Discord. It's the first link you find. We'd love to have you join our community. It's just getting better and better, like I said earlier. Okay, I think that's it. That's it for us tonight. We had so many good things today. I got to go spend time thinking about that before we start it all over again next week. We hope to see you there with us when we come back for another week of AMX Global League Season 3.